on Fa- I seen on Facebook that he had moved inland to his mother-in-law's place or something like that.
No, Eddie moved to a family camp house
Oh, okay.
on the Jordan River in Kill, Mississippi,
Oh, okay.
because they had power and water there. He moved because they had power and water. It's 90. It's getting up to 90 degrees, real high humidity here, so it's hot. It's hot and humid. He had no water or anything. And when we get the meeting started, we'll go through this for everybody. But basically, they lost water in New Orleans is a problem because of the distribution lines torn up by trees when the trees uprooted.
Yeah.
So I think they were saying one place was losing 250,000 gallons per minute dumping out because with the water. So.
Well, if it's anything like Detroit, we had a rain here and flooded the highways, and they had to pump them for a week before they opened them up.
Yeah, but I think there was a little bit of flooding here. Yeah, it's a little flooding here, but they had a little flooding there. I think there's significant flooding there. Most of the flooding happens south and outside the levee systems.
Yeah.
Trey, thank you for the note you gave me. I'm hoping my audio is working. I got it a little late in terms of I didn't notice it until this afternoon, but I just finished putting up your note about everybody on the website.
Okay.
So it has a little short note.
Okay.
And anything you find out about anybody else, happy to put it up there.
Will do. And I'm gonna put this out to everybody. Anybody sees anything out or talks to anybody that was affected in the zone, please let David know about it. And I've had him, he just put Eddie's stuff up there. It's basically putting information up there that people are okay or whether they have any issues or problems. So go ahead and get that posted up on the web. So we'll put it up on the website, at least right now for the next week or so, while we're waiting for people to, that were in the affected areas.
Wants to know.
Yeah.
Have you got Billy Dillard on there then?
I haven't got Billy on it yet. If you've got any information about Billy, I'd like to know about it. I have.
Yeah, he says he's okay, but he lost the roof on his shed or his garage, and his tools are all wet. Wet tools, but he's okay.
Great. I'll add that to the list of things.
Yeah, he lives in Houma, Louisiana, which is south, which is real close to where the main storm came through.
Okay.
I had his information. He'd been posting on Facebook, so.
I got a kick out of how many people had something ready to show this week. My gosh, we had quite a list of people all set to give a demo.
Yeah, I got a lot of volunteers and everything on it, so it was great.
We'll be backed up for a month.
Hey, I'd rather be backed up than
that's right.
Yes. And how long it takes to get power back into New Orleans and all that stuff to get that back, I don't know. It could be months. It could be a month for a lot of people.
Yeah. I got a note that was very short from Ronnie that he was saying he's not expecting to be up for at least 2 or 3 weeks. And I was thinking that's really bad. Really bad.
Well, they had 9 major transmission lines go down coming into New Orleans. These are the high power lines.
It's pouring rain here in New Jersey right now.
Y'all can keep it up there.
We had enough last week. We had 25 inches of rain this summer. That broke a record. We normally don't get that. They could use it out west where all the fires are burning.
Yeah, send it to California. They need it there.
Exactly. They're wishing for it and we don't want it.
Well, Eddie, did you get online? I see a thing for you. I see an open mic on you, Eddie. Did you get online?
He has a robotic system that comes up and shows his name, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a voice. Okay.
Here, but
Eddie, your connection is so bad we can't hear you. Oh, I see you now.
I'm supposed to be here, Trace, but I'm on a jump to my cell phone from my iPad. I have no control, but
Your bandwidth is low.
Yeah, because he's on his cell phone, so that is.
Right. He's
And
using
he-
the hotspot.
He is also in an area with poor cell connection.
Well, we're glad to see that you're able to, well, I'm not even gonna say that. I can't see you again. We're glad to hear that you can even get online, Eddie,
For sure.
that you weren't hurt.
Eddie says in the chat comments that, he says, how about I just listen?
Eddie, that
That may
works.
make sense.
Glad you're with us, Eddie.
We're gonna find out exactly how important Eddie is because he knows how to talk. He sounds professional about the whole thing. With him not around, we're gonna have a lot of dead space.
That's for sure, because I'm not a talker.
I'm not either. I usually hide in the background.
Yeah, I do too, and just sit back and listen. Now, I will say up front, anybody that is normally a co-host or whatever, when you come on in line, let me know so I can put you on, because Eddie knows the names and turns them on. I don't. And we got Mark Sillay demonstrating bottle stoppers tonight, offset bottle stoppers.
Aren't we also having the bowling balls being demonstrated?
No, not tonight.
Oh, okay, darn.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get that next. No, hopefully we'll do that next week. I did not find out to the last minute that Mark had already signed up to do the offset bottle stoppers. It's about a half hour or so demo, and so went ahead and went back to that. And I'd love
Cool.
to have the bowling ball done next week if we can.
Well, I'm sure that'll be a great demo too. I'm looking forward to both of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've had a lot of volunteers in the demos, which I really appreciate.
I'm thinking the bowling ball demo will be great for me. There's a bowling alley going out of business nearby. I might get a few bowling balls.
The pins are good to turn too. When I was in high school, I made a lamp out of the bowling pin. Turned the plastic right off them on the lathe.
Interesting.
Well, bowling pin's hard maple, isn't it?
Yes.
That's choice wood. Hard maple dried.
And it's probably a lot easier to find than an offset bottle.
Okay, I guess it's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Worldwide Wood Turning. Eddie is online, but his connection is so low he won't be able to really say much. I guess he can get in chat and make a few comments. From what I know with some of the members affected directly by the storm. Well, let me start out. I'm in Ocean Springs and I was in the storm, but I was far enough east that what we really got was mostly the tail coming back up with heavy rains. Not a lot of wind, but a lot of rain, but that was about it. So we didn't even lose power in Ocean Springs. So Johnny Hughes and myself are in Ocean Springs. New Orleans got hit pretty hard. And all of New Orleans lost power during the storm. They had 9 major transmission lines, from what I understand, go down. Taking towers down, taking the transmission towers went down. So basically New Orleans did lose all power. And a lot of New Orleans is without water. Because what happened when trees got uprooted, it tore up the water distribution lines and dumped all the water from all the towers on the ground instead of, to houses. So there's a lot of water outages. And both Eddie and Ronnie, who live in Jefferson Parish, which is a suburb out of New Orleans, they lost power and they've lost water. Neither one have power or water, but both of their houses are okay. And they're okay. Ronnie, from what I understand, is still in New Orleans. Eddie moved out of New Orleans to Kill, Mississippi on the Jordan River. Their family has a camp house there, and that's where he moved to. Now he has water and power there. Not sure if the water's still up. The water was up pretty high getting into the camp house. Jordan River floods badly all the time. And when he went there, he had water, but he has water and power, and he can get fuel and stuff. One of the big other problems that you get in a hurricane, post-hurricane, if there is no power, you get no fuel. All the service stations require fuel to get power in. So that's one of the things that happens with that. So and Billy, and somebody give me his last name. I don't remember.
Dillard.
Yeah, he's been out on Facebook, and we'll communicate a little bit on that. He's in Houma, Louisiana. He lost some shingles and stuff, and a little bit of roof stuff on top of his shop. So he's got wet tools. It was not flooding, but it was rainwater, which is a whole lot better than flooding. Flooding brings salt with it and destroys things. The other you can dry off and use to put a little oil on or something, recover most of it. So
he caught his neighbor's shed taking out a lot of his fences when it all blew away, and posted that video shortly after it happened.
Yeah,
so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I communicated on Facebook with him and saw a bunch of that stuff on Facebook. Is what he's on Facebook out there. So I don't know of anybody else in the New Orleans area. I'm not sure who else is in the club that's out of New Orleans or in the affected area, if there are any. I've asked David, our webmaster, to put the information out on our website, the status of the members that are in that area. I sent him the blurb on most of it.
Hey, Les, this is Joe Klein.
Yes.
Okay, I live in Metairie. I'm about 2 miles from Ronnie's house. I actually left and went to Houston. I'm still in Houston. I talked to Ronnie this morning. The water is slowly coming back. Water pressure in the city is slowly coming back, but they're still asking everybody, if you did evacuate, don't come back. And if you can't evacuate, get out, because they honestly don't know when the power is coming back.
Do you know how your house and stuff fared?
A friend went by our house. A tree directly across the street fell down into my driveway. If I wouldn't have moved my truck, the truck would have been under the tree. And the power pole that was right on the corner is now laying on the ground next to the tree. So, and my roof supposedly survived. The people that went around it didn't see any damage to the roof or to my fence in the backyard. So hopefully that's the only thing I got, is a tree laying on my driveway.
Well, glad to hear that. Anybody else in the New Orleans area or know anybody else in the storm area that was there?
Hopefully, Joe, that tree is some kind of wood that you can use.
Nope, it was
Make
junk
some
wood.
bowls and stuff.
It was junk wood, and I wouldn't do it. I mean, it was probably rotted half out too, but it wasn't a good wood to use.
Oh, that's crap. Darn it.
I don't know, you guys. That is no junk wood. I'll question that.
Looks like Matt's taking a road trip.
Well, I will say one thing on wood out of a hurricane. A lot of it winds up with splits in the wood. When the tree blows back and forth, it causes cracks up through the structure of the wood. And I'm missing the right name for it. Wind shakes. And you'll be turning something and it'll just blow apart because of it.
Yeah, we've had that with storm drop trees here too. Yeah.
You got to be real careful with storm drop trees because of that.
Yeah, when they get twisting, that's what delaminates the rings or whatever, I guess. I don't know.
So now, okay, everybody that's out there, anybody that's normally a co-host, let me know, because I am not sure who's who.
Trace.
And somebody else has been letting them in. So, Dan, do I have you as a co-host yet?
Dane should be one.
No.
Oh, just on it, and he just moved. Okay, just moved again. Okay, I got you, Dane.
Hey, Eddie's online.
Eddie has been in and out 3 times already, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's gonna be listening in. It's not gonna go active on it. His connection is terrible. He tried to speak the first time in and it was terrible, so.
Hey Trey, Doug Rowe here. I just renamed my iPhone, so you should be able to see me.
Oh, I got you, Doug. Doug. Got you, Doug.
Get your assignment done, Doug?
It's just watching a bunch of lectures. It's stuff that's due every Tuesday, so I'm just trying to get ahead for next week.
Right. Understandable.
Last class that I got to finish. Then I get that piece of paper that all my friends got in 1996.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. No, something that can't be taken away from you.
Doug, can you do bowling balls next week?
I'm not sure. So again, I took a vacation day today. That's why I knew I was free today. Next week I can try. It just depends on if I can get out of work on time or not.
Okay. Well, when will you have a better idea of it? That day or what? Or
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a day by day thing. So that's why especially with the time zone change that I don't believe in. Now that you all start earlier, I usually don't even get home until the meeting's about halfway over.
oh, okay.
But I'll do one in the future when I know for sure I've got time off. Again,
Okay.
I find them at the thrift store all the time, $3, $5. It's no big deal.
Okay. Okay. Appreciate it. Well, just let us know when you can actually get in there and do something.
In
with it.
about 11 months, I'll be able to guarantee more things when I have that retirement certificate.
If I'd realized that, I would have definitely put you in today.
Oh, it's all good. Hey, honestly, as long as it's been since I've been turning, I might be showing more wrong things than right things if I was to be the demoer today.
Well, I'm here, Trey. This is Mark.
I see you. Welcome aboard.
Okay.
Yeah, set him up.
Looking forward to your demo.
Okay. You just tell me when you want me to start.
We'll try to do it about 7 o'clock. Start about 7. Let's see. Closed captions on.
Okay.
I'm just reading some stuff that Eddie normally gets in there. Information, throw up in the chat line. Any information, so put it in chat, and at the end of the meeting, you can save the chat. Okay, for gallery, just go into the chat and say you got something to show. And Dane, will you go? Then you can start pulling people out of there. So let's go ahead and get started with anybody have anything to show out there?
Yeah, anything for gallery, put it in chat and I'll bring you up.
I tried turning and what I was turning blew up this week, so.
You didn't bring the sawdust to show us?
No. I was dodging it. I was dodging the things that blew up.
Let's see, Randy just chimed in. He's got something to show.
Okay.
Yeah, Randy. There you are. Talk to us, Randy.
Hi. Unmute myself. Okay. Yeah, I'm working on some pens for the Freedom Pens project. Come on, minimize it. This is when I'm making batches of pens. I make this little jig, and it allows me to stick a tube on and scuff it up in about 5 seconds or so. So that's just general information. I do that for when I'm making pens in large numbers. This is my current batch that I'm working on. That's 20 pens, and I'm working on the next 10, and I have 10 more after that. So
very nice. Good job.
Those are nice looking pens.
I'm making 2 different kinds or 2 different styles. This is just a split pen. I put finger grips on it, and I put 3 burn marks on it. So that's just a pretty plain slim line. And this is one that's a faux European or faux Mont Blanc. where I put a little recess in the bottom. I turn the
Hey,
cap
Eddie.
larger and they overlap. So that's just what I'm working on right now. So that's it.
Those are nice.
Very
All
nice.
right, let's go to Tom in East Tennessee. Where are you, Tom?
Okay. And since I'm there, that looks like me. God, that's like it. Oh, sorry, family show. All right, so a few weeks ago, I tried to do a cross. Didn't like that it was all just blonde, so I wanted to darken it. And it was suggested that I burn it. So I did that. And I liked torching it and then sanding it back down. Can't I've still got this covered with plastic to protect it. So I kind of like the results. It's not even, but hey, this is my first project. But now I need to put a finish on it. And I don't think a high gloss is what I would want for it. Probably like a satin. So what do you think?
Very nice. So you like the burning on it then?
Right.
I'm sorry, what?
I said you like the burning it to put the coloring on it.
I like the result of it. I tried using a gel stain and it just didn't come out even. Of course, this didn't come out even as I would like. But I didn't like the result of the gel stain. So the throw it in the fire and get it out and blow it out seemed to work good.
Pay or less.
It makes it very rustic looking. I think it's nice.
I had to look like a what do you call that? A definition of insanity, because I kept taking the torch and hitting it and catch fire, and I'd blow it out, and I'd hit it with the torch again and blow it out. But the end result, it came out more or less like I wanted. But so, like I say, now to put a finish on it, I got a choice of gloss or flat or satin, and I'm thinking satin. So I was wondering, what do y'all think, and what should I use?
I think the satin would look better on it, much better than a gloss. I don't think it's the right thing to put a gloss finish on, really.
How about something like boiled oil, linseed oil?
I would say it all depends on what kind of wood you've got, what the burning brought out in the grain character. And ultimately, whatever your customers would want the best. I mean, as much as I like satin finishes, frankly, shiny sells better. So, maybe do a couple of each and see what works best.
Well, I just wanted to do something I like simple. I just wanted to spray it and be done with it. And as far as customer, this is just for my aunt, so I'm trying to get it done while we're both still alive.
Simple and quick says lacquer to me.
But
Spray lacquer.
Can I get a lacquer in satin finish?
Oh yeah, rattle can lacquer. I know that the ones I use is Minwax. You can get them at Ace Hardware's. You can use a lacquer sanding sealer, and that would give you a satin finish too, probably.
Deft makes a satin as well.
Yep. Yeah, I use Deft and Minwax. Yep, very good products.
While I was looking, I saw there's lacquer and there's enamel. Should you avoid enamel?
I would avoid enamel, but that's just me.
Okay, so I keep the lacquer.
I avoid lacquer all the time. I'm allergic to lacquer, so I avoid it all the time.
Lacquer can be toxic. If you're spraying lacquer, make sure you're doing it somewhere where it's well ventilated. But it does dry very quickly. So
good.
Right. Well, and you can get satin and polyurethane as well, either water-based or oil-based. The thing with polyurethane, from my take, it depends on whether or not I am okay with it ambering the wood. If it is, I will go with an oil-based poly.
If I don't want it to amber the wood, if I want the color to be natural, then I use a water-based poly.
Okay, well, thank y'all for your input.
And you can rub down anything, any kind of finish with 4/0 steel wool to get a matte finish.
Right.
True.
Yeah, so you can take a shiny and buff it back with the 4/0, and now you got a satin.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Right on. Thank you. All right, let's see. Let's go to Joaquin. What you got, buddy?
Hang on, let me unmute. So this is an older piece. This is my wood carver's mallet. It's a nice chunk of kiln dried cherry. It's seen a little bit of use. But it got me kind of on the thought process of mallets for carvers or turners. So I'm in the middle of a series of 4 laminate of kiln dried white oak and walnut, white oak handle. That's another one. And I devised a way to drill it on the lathe. And then my recess, I just sand it down so that you can set your mallet flat. But that's not really what I want to show off. You guys saw the bowl of redbud. There's the rest of the branch. And I am just absolutely delighted with how that turned out.
Yeah,
that
it's
is
got a real
finished with
the sapwood
Brad's
mark.
workbench.
That is beautiful.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
very
really
nice.
beautiful.
I like it. Very nice.
You can't see
Very
it, but
vermeil.
this is
Every
for
time
my
I try
mother's
something like that, it
74th birthday.
explodes.
There we go. It's for my mom's 74th birthday, and it came out of her garden. So I'm sending her back a piece of her garden.
With all those cracks in that, lucky that thing did not explode on you.
Well, I was very tentative, and that crack actually ends right here. So I have, let me see here. I have quite a bit more wood than you think. But that's part of the fun of turning a natural live edge piece like this. This was a storm blowdown from the storm in 2017. So there was a lot of stress in the wood, but it's dry. So this was its final. It is completely dry. So I felt pretty confident in turning it that I could keep it under control. I think I managed.
Did you hollow it out inside or just drill it through?
I drilled it and then hollowed as deep as I can get. I don't have a hollowing system, so I've got my carbide finisher hanging 5 inches off the tool rest. So I have to stop somewhere. But I've found if I set the tool on the tool rest and lay it along my forearm, I have more control when I'm trying to reach out like that. But a hollowing system is on my short list of things I need to obtain. But I'm going to tell you, any chance I get to turn redbud, I'm going to turn it. This is an impressive wood. It's very good, tight grain. It's dense, and you can see this stuff just finishes so nicely.
What's
gorgeous? Yeah, I mean, this is just, and it really didn't take a lot of effort to get a finish this fine or to cut it cleanly, as long as I kept my tool sharp.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed turning redbud.
What is your finish on it?
So, so I sanded to 400, hit it with Axe abrasive paste. Then I put 4 coats or 5 coats of OB shine juice on it. Then I hit it with Brad's workbench abrasive paste to cut back the shine juice a bit, and then Brad's tongue wax, and then I topped it off with Axe polish and restorative paste. So it's shellac, tongue oil, and carnauba wax.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, your mom will like it. That's a good job.
I hope so. It's her only 74th birthday, so
Yeah, she will. She will.
Yeah,
like
she'll like it. It looks great.
thanks, guys.
You're her son. She'll like anything you give her. Hey, Sandy.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing
Hi, Miss
good. I'm up in Washington, so we're a long way from rain and hurricanes and all that kind of stuff. So doing well here. A little cool, but okay. Now, this is my latest project that I just finished it, I think, yesterday. This is cherry burl, and I was gonna lose a lot of it. If you can see, I don't know, am I far enough back or that stupid light's up there? So I poured some clear resin, and it was a slow pour. I hadn't used this before, and so it took me, I didn't realize how long you had to wait in between pouring this stuff. It takes like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks to get this poured all the way down for the holes, but I got one little pour line, and I guess that's pretty common. I forget what they call them. I haven't done a lot with resin, but it was a gorgeous piece of wood. It really was. And I was working really hard to save it. So I put a lot of coffee and glue and resin and all sorts of stuff. And, but it came out really nice. I'm very
Yeah, you saved it all right. That is absolutely lovely, Sandy.
Oh, thank you. Thank
It
you.
is.
I like
And I wanted everything natural on it. So it's just, I use the Axe abrasive paste as well. And two coats of the OB Shine, and then just came back and took it off with the gray pad and put a couple of coats of wax. So it would give a little bit of shine, but mostly natural.
That is gorgeous.
Nice, Sandy.
Absolutely
Thank you. Thank you. So that's it. That's my latest.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. John, you're going to be coming up next. Right now.
Okay, I have a couple of plates. This is ambrosia maple. I don't know, you can't really see it too good. I don't know if it's a plate or a bowl, but it was only 2 inches thick, so.
Yeah, it looks nice.
And I have another one. This one has another, this has a little bit more
Yeah.
detail in it. But
Those pretty pieces.
What kind of wood is that?
it's ambrosia maple.
Love it.
That's pretty.
I also made my first can.
stuff? That's cool.
Right
The
on.
bullet can.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's made with, the wood is black palm.
Oh, nice.
How'd you like
That's
turning
nice.
it on?
It turned nice. I had no problem with it.
Huh.
It wasn't stabilized?
No.
Wow. I was not that fortunate when I tried to turn palm before I stabilized it.
I guess I got a lucky piece. That's it for me.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Doug's got something to talk about here. Hey, Doug.
Hey. All right. So another big shout out for the pens coming my way. And let me get mine turned around here. I'm not joking. 100 pens in one box.
Cool.
So big shout out to Craig. And if I'm saying your last name right, Chatterton. Are you on tonight, Craig? Well, anyway, Craig sent me those. I got them last week while I was gone at training and I couldn't be in the meeting. So, but thank you to Craig. Then some of you might have seen it on our Facebook page, but I posted a little something. I was just messing around again yesterday, threw on a small piece of walnut, and all of a sudden it was making some weird noises. I'm like, what is going on here? And yeah, that crack opened up right there. I'm sorry, it's this crack right there. Let me see if I can make it open while holding the phone with one hand.
That looks like ring shake.
Now that
Yeah.
looks like ring shake.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. So if you go on our Facebook page, you can see a quick little funny video I did with it. But so like any sport, when you've been out of it for a while, you got to get back in and get your fundamentals back. So that's why I've just been playing around a little bit here and there. Now that I'm set back up. But that's all I got tonight. Thanks again for the pens. Oh, I do have one more thing, and I cannot remember the name, so maybe you're on. But somebody had contacted me about also being able to distribute pens to the military, and they're over in Florida. Is that person on tonight? Well, I guess not. So I need to find out.
Ronnie was going to.
Say again?
Ronnie was going to be distribute them to the Marines, right? I think
Yes,
that's what you're
Ronnie
referring to.
Benes wanted to do something.
That
for
might
the
have been
Marine
who
class.
it was that contacted me. And I got the name somewhere, but now I don't have it right with me. But at any rate, so that would be a big help because he's over there in Florida, if that's the same person.
Yeah, I
What's
think
that?
last week.
What Ronnie was what Ronnie was trying to do is, I can't remember whether it's a nephew or whatever, just joined the Marine Corps and is going off to basic training. And he wanted to make sure, he wanted to get enough pins to give to everybody in the class, about 150 pins for everybody in the class when they graduate in about 13 weeks or so.
Okay, that's probably a little bit different than the person that called me was down in Florida and said they're pretty close to the shipping yards.
I remember last week somebody mentioned something about getting to the distributing pens to the Navy.
Yes,
but
that's
I
him.
can't remember who that is at all.
Okay, well, we'll get it figured out. And when we do,
Oh,
then
yeah.
that'll be another person that you guys can push pens to the other side of the country and kind of, hopefully we can distribute the wealth a little bit more to the various branches.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's a good endeavor. Hopefully we can get some more people doing it. I'm trying to convince myself to do it here for the troops out here at DM.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm sure
Right.
they would love it.
Yeah, I probably ought to do that. I'll talk to you about it later on then, Doug.
Okay.
I found the note. It's Jim Selby. He's out of Florida.
Okay.
He was going to distribute them to the Navy. Yeah.
There it is. And did I,
have a pocket full of quarters.
and he had told me he was going to go ahead and contact Dave and get his address put on the website. I don't know if that happened or not.
Yeah, it's on the website now.
Okay, perfect. So there you guys go. So if you want to, if you're closer to that end of the country, or, like I said, mine primarily go to the National Guard, Air and Army. His will primarily go to the Navy. Just so we can kind of spread the wealth a little bit. By all means, you can push some pens that way. And especially now that I just had a box of 100 sent to me, it's going to take me a little bit to get those pushed out to everyone.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All righty. Y'all have a good night, and I'll be sticking around to see what else y'all have to say and show.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
All right. Let's see. Let's get to the M's and go to Michael Stratton. Michael, you're up. You're really up.
Good
When
evening.
we say worldwide, there's worldwide.
I hope you
Straight
can
from the
understand me
UK.
because I'm a foreigner from the other side of the pond.
Make you a foreigner. Just a little different neighbor.
I got interested in thread chasing a couple of years ago after watching Sam Angelo videos. In England, we get some nice boxwood. Yeah. So this one is a piece of English boxwood, threaded 16 threads per inch TPI.
Gorgeous.
Nice job, Mike.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And just
Very
a couple of beads around the joint to set it off. And an insert in the lid. I think that was the Coty insert. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And there's another small one that I make. Again, English boxwood. It's got Hampshire sheen high gloss finish on it.
I like to do the box. Threaded.
This one's 18 threads per inch TPI.
Did you hand chase them?
Sorry?
Did you chase them by hand?
By hand, yeah. I brought sets of hand thread chasers. And that's that one. Screws up. And then this one is an English U
My
box.
goodness.
This isn't threaded, this one. Just a small English U box.
Sweet.
Very nice. Nice little boxes.
Thank you. That's all I've got to show. Martin Clarkson, he was on Wood Turning Zoom earlier, but he's in Hungary and his broadband reception is not good, so he won't be on tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
No.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
H-I.
Come back anytime.
Anything.
All right. Let's go to New Hampshire. Doug.
But
Hi there.
How you
This
doing?
is,
How you doing?
piece of salted rock maple that I just finished.
That's pretty.
I love
Oh,
the
yeah.
figure in this.
hit enter.
The
Okay.
finish on this is sanding sealer and homemade abrasive paste, followed by walnut oil. And
Oh, you did that one very well.
my
It looks
best
good.
piece to date. I love the figure on it. And, I keep learning, and I think it turned out very, very nicely.
Looks great.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yes, very nice piece.
Proportions are right on.
Cool.
Thank you. And I did a new style for me on the bottom, and I really like that recess.
Yes. Yeah, we're doing a pedestal like that. It's nice turning it into a pedestal.
Very happy with that. Thanks for the compliments.
Good job, Doug. All right. Let's see. We got a young one that wants to say hi to all of us. So let's go there.
You're up. You're up.
Brenda.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, guys. This
Hi.
is Doug. He wants to say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Well,
Well,
say
say
hi.
hi to him.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Well, now he's shy. I don't want to say anything.
I didn't even say anything like that.
Yeah, you wanted to say
Hi,
hi.
Brendan.
Trenton.
Hey, bud.
Trenton, I'm sorry. Hi, Trenton. How are you?
Okay, he's done.
Okay, Trenton.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe next time.
There you
Possibly.
go.
Hmm. Do you have anything to show, Brenda? Like your ice cream paddles that you just made?
They're downstairs. I didn't bring them upstairs with me tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to run downstairs and bring them up?
We got a set of young legs for you. Make him go down.
He won't do nothing for me.
Oh,
Oh, hey Trenton, can you help Grandma out? Can you go get her ice cream scoops?
Can you? I'll go get him. I'll be back.
All right.
Can you hide from us?
Well, let's go back to Trey and see what's shaking there. Trey, you're up.
Okay, let me unmute it. Mark, are you about ready to start do something or give you a couple minutes?
What? I didn't hear you. Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready? Are you ready to go ahead and do it now, or you want to wait a couple minutes?
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Okay, Mark. Let's go ahead and get Mark spotlighted so we can. There he is. Okay, Mark, you're spotlighted and you're on.
Okay, last week when we showed the offset wine stoppers and the multi-act wine stoppers, let me just get a couple of these things here. All right, I'm gonna turn my phone over to Frank. He's gonna hold the phone.
Reverse it.
Hey, can you see me?
Oh, okay, up a little bit.
Okay. See what?
Anyway, put him on the big screen.
Okay, can you see that, Frank?
I can see it. Put it against your white background.
Okay.
Up a little bit more.
All right.
There you go.
I'm going to spin this around. This is a multi-axis turning, and this is an offset turning. So I'm going to show you the difference. All right. Offset means it is set parallel to the to this axis. It goes sideways to the axis. A multi-axis is tilted this way. So I'm gonna.
So a multi-axis, you only turn one end, Mark?
What?
On a multi-axis, you only change one end?
Yes. You're gonna do one axis on it. Okay. Okay. So what I've done is I take the wine stopper. Right. Plug this in here.
Hey, don't highlight me, guys.
Just a second.
Yeah, it looks like Mark's froze up. He's gonna have to get out and come back in probably. You're muted, Trey.
What about Jeff on safety? Jeff, are you out there?
I didn't see him log in. Flip through to folks here.
Trey, have you been turning anything lately, or you just
No,
chilling out?
I've been chilling out.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot Mark a quick message here in case he doesn't realize he's froze.
Okay. Is he still online?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah.
No.
He's back in the waiting room.
Yeah, I just clicked him. Okay, come in.
Okay.
Did he make it in?
He's out of the waiting room. Mark, you still there? Spotlight. All right, you back online, Mark?
All right, can you see this? So we put a block in here, and I put a tenon on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this thing around. We're going to put the tenon in here. We're going to do the offset first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the top of the bottle stopper. I'm going to put this up here.
Mark, when you put that in there, did you put it in there straight on the tenon?
Straight on the tenon.
Okay.
Straight on the tenon. I'm just going to take a spindle gouge and do some plunge cuts.
Look at those shavings.
It makes it look so easy.
Looking out, he says, look at the thing.
Okay, so what I've done is I've made the top of the wine stopper. And I'm going to take this out. So now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to bother sanding this thing, but what I have to do now is I'm going to look and see what I want on the front of the wine stopper. I want this on the front. So I'm going to go to the center and I'm going to go back. I'm going to take a 1/4 inch. And I'm going back 180 degrees back from the front. And so I'm going to offset that from the center 1/4 inch. All right. And then I'm going to drill a hole. Let me see here. I'm just going to go over here to the, here we go. Can you see this?
No, go do it, Buck.
Mark, are you drilling that on your drill press or freehand with the drill?
No, you can't see it from there, Buck.
Okay. So what I did is I drilled a hole 1/4 inch off center. Right, hang on just a second. And take this out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pen mandrel and I have mounted in here, right, 1/4 inch by 20 TPI engine bolt. So I'm going to put it in the Morse taper, and on the inside, I have a threaded Morse taper. This is a Pro pen mandrel that you can get at a Woodcraft, right? So you just take the pen mandrel out and you put the screw in there, a 1/4 screw, tighten it down. And I can use this for all of the little things that I do on a screw chuck. So I'm going to put the threaded rod through the tailstock or the headstock. Right? And I'm going to thread that on so that we have a drawbar. Let me.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Just so you know, somehow you're generating some feedback between your microphone and your speaker on the phone. So I don't know if there's anything you can do about it, but.
Did that fix it?
That's better, yes.
Good.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this into the Morse taper. So all your little projects, you use screw chucks on and everything. This is a handy way to do this. We're going to put it through here. And then I'm going to lock that in, wherever I put that. No, I just had the... Oh, here it is. So I'm going to lock that in there. So now I can work this without having any tailstock support at a certain point. So now I'm going to let this screw on. Tighten that on. And now I'm going to take the tailstock off. Because with this being off center, then we can't use the tailstock for support. It'll put a torque on it. So we put our live center in there. Then you can just attach, use a 3/4 10 adapter to go on the tailstock and make yourself a flat disc. So once I push this up, right, then that's going to give it a little support. If you can look right here. And now when you see this, you see it gives it parallel support no matter where it is.
Yeah, it's a good jig.
Let me get my, hang on just a minute here. All right, here we go.
Move your light over here to the side.
Okay, so now what I have, right, is I have right here, you see where I don't have that edge right there. So I've got to bring this up to make that edge nice and sharp. If we got it. Okay, so I have a clean edge all the way around. And so then what we'll do is we would obviously sand all this, but just to make for quickness here, when you go to make your cutoff, always make sure to make an angle on your cutoff tool anytime you're making any type of bottle stopper, right? So that you always make an undercut. You don't come straight across. You make an undercut so that when the bottom of the bottle stopper and the wood part, it's not a straight across. You can't see light. It's always undercut so that you don't see any crack. So now I'm going to go parallel to my screw and I'm going to come under. And of course, it would have been sanded. We would have put the finish on it. Unscrew this. Okay, so we have an undercut. And then where that you cut that off, right? Take just a little reamer, right? And do like that. And now that'll fit onto the, right now, let me go on the wall. Right, get a start here just a second. Hang on just a second. Then we have the bottom part of the bottle stopper. So we unscrew the stud. And I put it in a little handle. Right? And I drilled a 3/16 hole in here because I'm using a quarter PPI stud. So then that pre-threads it. And all I got to do is screw the stud in. We screw it in until it's tight. There we go. Boom, like that. And all I have to do is screw it in like this. And then we have an offset bottle stopper, and you can see no joint on there because it's undercut. Okay, that's all there is to an offset piece. Now, when we go to do a multi-axis, is there any questions on that?
No, you sure made it look simple.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Okay, let's do a multi-axis here. You take this thing off. Okay, to make a multi-axis, we're going to drill a hole down the center of the block of wood. Okay. Let me knock this out. Take this out here.
No.
Just a second.
Nope, nope. Nope.
Whack it, Mark.
No, no. Just a second.
That's why we make wooden mallets.
Right?
Hit it like it owes you money.
It needs a Ford wrench.
Ah. Let me get another. Why that won't come out of there? I made that rod too short.
Try.
I'm gonna just let me see if I can. Can't believe it.
Oh.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so we're going to take them to jaws. We're going to put a hole in the middle All right, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in the jaws, do our multi-axis. Let me tighten it down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slightly tilt it. Okay, can everybody see that where it's tilted?
Turn it slow.
Everybody see that?
Yep, it's not quite square in the chuck. It's tilted a little bit.
Yeah, we've got it tilted.
Deliberately.
We've got it tilted. See that?
Yep.
Okay. So then we're gonna put our tailstock up.
Yep.
Okay, so now I've got it trapped in there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another plunge cut. Okay, I've got to come back just a little farther. Okay, I'm gonna sand this, right? Sand it all the way to 800, right? And then we take it out. I can put that quarter 20 screw back in, or I'll just put it on this one here. It doesn't make any difference. And so now we got that right in the center. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that on our quarter 20 screw. So this is already sanded to 800. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our final cuts on this axis here. These two cuts are gonna be on this axis. This cut was on the other axis.
His camera's froze up again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did he freeze or is it just me?
No, I think it's froze.
That usually means his internet connection is locked.
I'm gonna shoot him a message again. Oh, hey, Dave, talk to us about the website while we're waiting for Mark to come back on.
Okay,
What's
I
new
guess I can do
what's
that.
new and exciting?
What's new and exciting? Actually, I'm trying to put something up right now. Well, not this moment, but if anybody's got some graphics, I was realizing that we've been accumulating a lot of graphics lately, and I really ought to be putting some of them up. They're each going up with the articles they belong to, but I was thinking it'd be nice if they were someplace where you could generically go on the site and say, oh, there's a, well, last week, Trey had 2 graphics. One was for the Verigrind and how to set it up. So I'm trying to find things that I can put up. If you happen to have some graphics that you use that help you with a setup of any sort, send them over to me, and I'm going to try to get them up. One of the other things that's up there at the moment, or will be up, is the indexing wheel that we got many weeks ago. And that way, if somebody's looking for something to do a setup with and they think they need some sort of support, maybe you can find a graphic that says, here's what the angles mean. And maybe we can get some help out of that.
Okay,
I don't know if
right
that
on.
makes sense to you.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. That sounds good. Well, it looks like Mark is back, so let's span back to him.
Okay, I'm sorry, that thing got overheated. Okay, so I made the front cut. Now I'm gonna make the bottom cut. See if we've got our top edge joined. Okay, I've got that edge clean all the way around. So we're just go there like this. And we would sand this and we would sand this. They're all on the same axis. So we would take this little reamer here and just put that in, get rid of that whizzer, right? And we would coat that with our Parfix. And then we would just screw in the stud. Let me get this unscrewed here. So we put in the stud and it would sit on top like this. So that's a multi-axis. That's a multi-axis, right? And the other one was offset.
Very cool. Nice job, Mark.
Really nice. Thank you.
The two
Great
of them
tip there.
The 2 of them look like that, but they're fun, they're simple, and they're real quick, and that's how you do it.
Real nice.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Very nice.
Good job, Mark.
Thanks,
Thank
Mark.
you.
What is the stopper kit that you're using on that one?
The only stopper kits I use are from Berea Hardwoods.
Okay. Very nice.
You can get a chrome, get them in the steel or whatever, but everything that I use, all of the kits and things that I use off of a screw chuck, everything I use is always 1/4 20. Keeps it simple.
Thank you, Mark.
And you didn't even use a $400 chuck.
What?
You didn't even use a $400 Echelon chuck.
Oh, you didn't use an Escalon chuck. The
No,
$400 check. Yeah, that's
No,
easy.
and then when I do the large, when I do
Back
large,
up, back up.
when I do large bases and everything, right, then let me, same type of thing. And I've got that on the videos. If you want to use it, make a tall base or something, you still have to use your support. You have to use your support because it might be offset that far. It gives you a parallel force. You just can't use center.
Okay.
Mark, show that support. Show that support to us so everybody understands exactly what it is. I have one. That's why I'm doing it. Saying that.
Right, and here it attaches with a 3/4 inch screw. Right, here's an adapter, right, for your face plate, and then all you gotta do is a piece of wood, put a piece of soft material on it. And if you're doing like the concave bottom of a vase, then it sets in the recess, right, on the base. Or if you're doing like a round top on the bottom top, and it just sets up against it. But again, it's off to the side, but it's a parallel force. If you put it in the center, right, and you go off, then it puts a torque on it, and it doesn't work.
Mark, similar use on that. Is it leather or a cloth sort?
What?
What you're covering that with? Is it a piece of cloth or a regular piece of cloth?
No, that's that. This that's mounted on here is that Merca Merlon.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Like this here. If I've already finished my finish, the bottom on like of a vase, I've already got it to 800 random orbit, right? Then this is 1200 on the Merlon Merca, so that doesn't scratch it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good stuff, Mark. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
Fabulous demo.
Anybody else have any questions for Mark on it? The tool used or cutting presentation or anything like that?
Thank you very much.
No. All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Back to Trey.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
I've got some bragging. I've some bragging I can do on Mark on a piece that he taught me to turn like he's talking about.
Well, let me pull you up, Joaquin. You're
Okay.
next in line anyhow.
All right. Well, it goes right along with what he did because I learned it from him. And Mark, you've got that video on doing the offset base.
Yeah.
And so this is an offset base. And I don't know whether you remember this. In Atlanta in 2016, I took this down there for the gallery. And you said, well, I never seen anybody that actually turned a piece off one of your videos. And so this was, you know, just like you did, you turned this round. And then I offset it 3/4 of an inch to turn this up here, which was on a piece just like he said. I did everything according to him. And
it worked.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Mark. I've turned quite a few pieces. This is one that, because it's segmented, I won't give away or anything, and because it was in your hands too. And he's got video. I discovered you 8 years ago or so, and I really enjoy your videos. I've learned a lot. They've really added a lot to my wood turning experience, and I thank you very much.
Right.
Good stuff. Thanks for showing, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Jeff,
Kind of funny
Jeff,
because I actually just saw his video on the offset turning here a couple weeks ago, and I've been doing the same thing. And now we're having a demo on it.
That's so cool.
The turners. Yep.
need to identify, this is Worldwide Wood Turners, and our website, which is a great website out there, is worldwidewoodturners.org. And it has the link to this meeting. Everything is free. There's no charge on anything on the site or coming in, joining us or anything else. Everything is 100% free. Eddie normally sitting here, and I'm not much of a talker, so, but he is. But I just got a text from him. He said he can't even get one bar on his phone. That's the reason why he's not even online listening with us right now. Did Jeff ever make it in for safety?
No, he did not. But Jim Selby signed in. So Doug, are you still there? Doug Rowe?
He's showing is online, but that doesn't necessarily mean.
Let's spotlight him and see what he's doing.
He's
Oh,
on the
look at
way.
him, he's turning. Hey, Doug.
He can't hear us.
Yeah, I know. He stopped now. Hey, Doug.
Somebody throw something at him.
Yeah, he's got us. Hey, Doug, Jim Selby is on now.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, who's on?
He was talking about me. This is Jim Selby.
From
Hey,
Florida.
Jim.
From Florida about the pins.
Yeah. So Jim, we wanted to talk about, you were going to be the other one that would take on the Freedom Pens, right? For people to mail them to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So go ahead and give your little spiel about who you are and how you'll be able to get the pens out to the troops on your end of the country.
All right. My name is Jim Selby. I'm a retired Navy chief. I was stationed at Mayport the last about 10 years of my career. I have a lot of people that I know around the naval station, and I go to the commissary all the time. So I see a lot of people, and I can get the Freedom Pins either through the command master chief on a ship or just individually. So it'd be a great thing if I could get some passed out.
And are you okay with the people mailing the pens directly to you like they do to me?
Yes, sir. My
Okay.
my address is on that website.
And then if you also want to drop it in the chat, that's where I do it usually about every couple of weeks, and then people grab it out of the chat.
All right, I'll put it in there now.
And then Dave, our webmaster, can put it up on the website if that's fine with you.
I think
I thought he already had.
Yeah, it's already up on the website.
No, for Jim's address, contact info.
Yeah, his contact information is on. Right now, I actually have Ronnie and Jim and Doug, all three posted on the same page saying, one for the Marine, one for the Navy, one for everything else.
I like it. National Guard, we are the universal military.
Absolutely. Should I put it up just now? I'm gonna leave it. You get it to everybody. You're stuck.
Hey, my nephew's Air Force, so I might get him to be able to do something with them.
Okay. He's willing to have his name up, or shall I send it to you?
I'll have to talk. I'll talk to him and get it for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested, and it's not limited to one or two people, so the more people we can get involved with pushing these pins out, the better. So anybody wants to step up, that'd be great.
Yeah, any of you that live next to active duty posts or somewhere near active duty posts, that's ideal, because you can always get on there and hand them off, even if it's to the MPs at the front gate. You can put them in the hands of somebody and they'll get distributed. But it's really cool. If you haven't ever had I'm sure at this point in your lives, everybody's giving away something to somebody that appreciates it. It's just that really cool feeling.
Well, I need to check up. I used to work at with the Ingalls shipyard here, And they're building Coast Guard and Navy ships here. Maybe I need to get with them and get to the Command Master Sergeant and see what they can do about distribution to the crews.
And hey, you know
Good
what, Trey?
idea.
That brings up a good point. So there is obviously a lot of us in the military and those of us in this club that have served. But if you haven't served, you might not understand how many civilians actually work on a military base or post and make the military function. There's so much more to it than just those of us that wear the uniform. And if you were to put the hands on one of those DOD civilians, it's going to be just as cool as putting it in the hands of one of the troops.
Well, I was talking about the ship crews, so on doing it on the ship's crews that actually get out there that are going to be going to sea with the for the Coast Guard and Navy.
Right.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense too. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, if like when you do make your way onto a military installation, a lot of times you'll see those guys walking around in their polo shirts and khakis and button-down shirts and ties, and oftentimes they're actually retired military, or they did a certain amount of time in the military, but sometimes they didn't. But again, the military would not function without those civilians helping out, doing their part. They're not on the front lines.
We need the chair force.
But at any point, any large organization always has those people behind the scenes that are really keeping the cogs turning. And so that's what I'm getting at. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be somebody in camouflage that you're handing that pen to appreciate the military.
Yeah, and I worked for the Navy for 40 years as a civilian, so I fully understand it. I was in that role and also in the Guard, so.
Yep, then you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm a member of a veterans group, a breakfast group, and I've been giving pins to some of the guys that go to our group. I've given away 3 Master Chief pins, so it's pretty good.
I got you beat. I gave a pin directly to the CNO of the U.S. Navy, the 4-star in charge of the U.S. Navy. So handed him a pin.
Now it sounds like we're almost going to have the challenge coin challenge going on.
Yeah, right.
Receive a coin from the
I don't know. I don't know about the CNO, but I gave one to Cliff Roberts, and he was the Force Master Chief for Afghanistan for 18 months. So I think that pushes the envelope a little bit.
Oh, you're doing great.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is John Combs in Alaska. Do you want anything engraved on the pens?
It's all up to you, the turner, the artist, whatever, however you want to make them, any shape, size, color. You hear me and Eddie joke back and forth about the blue ink versus black ink thing. It doesn't even matter. You want to be real funny? Send me one in pink ink. I don't care. But the troops, again, doesn't matter what branch of the service. They all love them. They're going to stick them in their pocket or put them on their desk. They're going to do something with them. So the more intricate you want to make it, great. That's awesome. But there's no requirement for anything.
I'm planning on making 20 for you guys, so get them done.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you so much.
Now,
if you want to make them and hand them out to the troops up there in Alaska, you could probably make the pen, and then you know how people always, not everybody, but a lot of them, when they send them to me, they send them with these little nice sheaths, I guess, that you put the pen in. I suppose in Alaska, maybe you should make a sheath out of like wool and then give it to the guy.
I'll even try to make some pens out of moose antler.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't want to smell that while you're turning it, but that'd probably look pretty cool when you're done.
Yeah, it does.
I've done some out of elk antler, and yeah, it stinks.
Smells like burning hair.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I turned one out of a deer antler, never again. It just, no.
This is Walt Wager. Mark invited me to join you all tonight, and it's been very interesting. I really enjoyed watching it and enjoyed the conversation.
All right, come on back next week.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Pull up the tailgate and sit and BS with us.
I've seen Walt's demonstrations. He did one for Northeast Florida Woodturners Association. And he does a really good job. Y'all need to rope him into a demonstration.
I'll be glad to do one for you.
Don't scare him off yet. He just showed up.
Yep. Who was that wants to do a demo?
This Walt Wager.
Walter Wager.
Very cool, Walt. What are you gonna do?
I'll show you.
I'll find a date for you in October.
Okay, there's what I'm working on now.
Ooh.
Oh, that's gorgeous art.
Oh yeah, very nice.
So we
That's
can see
pretty.
you're just a beginner, I see. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
right.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Just getting started.
I'll give you a date next week, Walter. Thank you for stepping up.
Okay, be glad
I
to.
appreciate it, and the club
Look like we
appreciates it.
could.
I'll have to get with Tom Kinney to do it though. He has a shop. He has internet. I don't have very good internet, but he has good internet.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have time to prepare. Week or so.
All right.
Dan, do you have his contact information?
No, I'm just going to look at the calendar. I've got a couple more that's chimed in that's going to do a demo for us. So I'm just going to look at the calendar and pick a date and let them know next week. Hopefully it'll work out for them.
Yeah, my email is really easy. It's just waltwager@gmail.com.
Could you put it in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
I got it. Yep. Okay, I'll talk with you via email, Walt.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And he might need to give us a shop tour. Look at behind him. What is all that stuff?
That's a virtual background.
Wow.
Man.
And unfortunately, my shop is not that organized. I'm sorry.
I love it.
I don't think anybody's is.
I know.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks. It's been real nice. I'm gonna have to sign off now, but I'll be in contact with you. Thanks.
Nice meeting you. Thank
See you soon, Walt.
Bye bye. Hi, Paula.
Hey. Good job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Tell Tom he's gonna have to host the demo when we do it.
He's on too, so he already knows he's putting it on the
okay.
calendar whenever.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Did anybody go to SWAT? I saw one comment on SWAT. And anybody go to SWAT can give us a brief update on what happened at SWAT?
Yeah, I was there.
Can you?
Yeah, I was there.
Can you tell us what went on with it, with all this COVID restrictions and everything? What you have to do, and was it any good demo?
It was
setup?
good. Masks were not required; they were an option. So it was about 50-50. A lot of good demonstrators were there. They had some last minute shuffles. Some people backed out. Had 34 vendors were there. Who didn't make it? Robust didn't make it. One Way didn't make it. The instant gallery in there was phenomenal. Had some beautiful stuff. If you go to SWAT on YouTube, there's a video that one of the people put out that lists all the instant gallery and lists some beautiful stuff there. What else? You got any other? Lots of wood. Some guys came from, I think, around Austin with olive wood from the Middle East. Man, they were dirt cheap on olive wood. They basically gave it away.
How many attended? Do you have a attendance?
A little over 600.
They had pretty good. They did pretty good.
Yeah, it had half the vendors as of 2019 and half the attendance, but it went very well. So the food was good. They had a good caterer this year, but everything went real well. I'm looking forward to have when the videos come out. The Alamo Woodturners, we run the Bosque room down there for the pin guys, and we had some very interesting people there. Rebecca DeGroot, I think she did 4 different demos up there. Tim Yoda, he did at least 4. A lot of the guys just shuffled around when some of the other vendors, or they're not vendors, but demonstrators dropped out, and they just stepped right up and filled in those empty slots. I didn't hear anybody go around complaining that it was a bad show. A lot of people got good hands on and everything.
Well, that sounds great. It sounds like they pulled off another good one then.
They really did. It was half the amount of people, so it wasn't as crowded. Everywhere you could get to talk to the vendors up front. It wasn't waiting in line to talk to them. Doug Thompson was there. Carter and Sons was there. Mutz Blanks. There's another group, Steeplechase, I think. They're the ones that were on Classic Nib. They had a huge booth there. A lot of blanks, pins, a lot of casting supplies.
Caster's Choice was there.
Yeah. The group out of San Marcos for stabilizers were there. I can't think of the name now.
Turnex?
Yeah, they were there. They had a good sized booth. So if you wanted stuff, they were selling like crazy. Like that. Like I said, a lot of different wood people were there that they were dealing pretty good on wood. They didn't want to take it home.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, classes were they were comfortable. They weren't crowded.
Yeah. I saw some of Jeff Hornung's pictures and Rebecca's pictures. Everybody looks like they're having a great time.
They really did. Especially all the demonstrators I went to, very informative. If you had questions, it just stopped. There's one guy there called, his name was Sammy Long, and he did relief carving. And I don't know if I should have gone to watch that. I'm ready to buy more equipment for carving and stuff.
Yeah, Sammy was up at Campbell's Hands-On Retreat in June up here in Michigan.
Yeah,
and he's great fun. So
he was.
Yeah, I love what he does.
I've known Sammy. I knew Sammy when he first started turning. We're both members of the Mississippi Craftsman's Guild. And I knew him when he very first started doing the carving and turning, 20-something years ago. So he's out of Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, he was very interesting. He made it look too easy to go out there and start carving.
Yeah, he did make it look easy. He did a good job.
Yeah, I did. But I can't complain. I've been going now for about, I think this is my 5th year, and I'm ready to go back. It was very informative. I like bringing the book back with me, and I could just thumb through it and see the people that I didn't get to go see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don Ward was there in his pen room. Jim Hines in the pen room. So it was a good meeting. I liked it. Weather was perfect, hot as always, but it was nice and cold inside.
I normally go. This is the first one I've missed in the past 5 or 6 years. So
yeah, and we're planning on having another full-size one next year. So I'm looking forward to it. They gave away, I think, 3 jet media lays, a bunch of nice turnings like that. So yeah, be sure to put it on your calendar for next year.
Yeah, it'll be bigger and better next year, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, yeah. After everything's, and the convention center worked real well with us. They announced in July, first part of August, all restrictions were off. So a lot of people were still gun shy, but those that came, some wore masks, some didn't. But it didn't bother anybody.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they had a real good time.
Great.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures Billy Burt was posting and looked like he was having a good time getting his selfies and his smile on.
In
Yeah,
fact,
if you
he posted a 50-minute video today on YouTube.
Did he? Okay. There's another guy, the guy out of Bastrop. Is it Sean? With
Sean Graham.
Yeah, he did about a
worth the effort.
he did about a 30-minute video, and he showed real fast all the outside stuff out of the instant gallery, but he did a good detailed video of everything inside, and very nicely done. He talked a lot about certain items. One was a pet urn that one of the guys in our club made. It was on display. A lot of basket illusion stuff was up there. Really nice stuff. The beads and courage boxes, I think they had over 420 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had a bunch of those, but Sean's is on YouTube.
And he
SWAT
always
20.
does a good video on that.
Yeah. And I sat there and watched the whole thing. It was really good. Like that. So yeah, if y'all get to see that video, go for it. It was really good. Did y'all say Billy had one on there too?
Yeah, Billy Burt had one that's right at 50 minutes, I believe.
Okay.
I had seen that video, and yeah, now I definitely want to go possibly next year.
Oh yeah. As soon as registration opens up, probably February or
I'll
March.
drive down if I have to.
It's probably one of the best symposiums out there. It's not quite as big as AAW, but it's small enough you can get around and see people and talk to people and everything else, where AAW is just almost overwhelming.
Yeah. The
I would
vendors
rather
were-
have the smaller crowds anyway. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was kind of funny. The lines going to the restrooms were half the size. So that was good. But the
Yeah,
the
we usually
vendors,
come from.
Pardon?
Sorry, we usually come from Florida, and we've gone for a number of years. And one year we got, had to go north Louisiana to get around a hurricane when it closed I-10, and we would have had the same thing this year had we come from Florida. But we missed
Yeah.
it. We really missed it. It's
Yeah.
the best.
there was some construction, heavy construction there on I-35 in Waco. It was a real pain in the butt, but everybody got around it real well. And but the vendors, they were more than happy to take the time and talk to you, answer questions, everything like that. So I'm looking forward to next year seeing more vendors come back.
Well, I understand why One Way won there, because they're having to come out of Canada, and there's still it's still tight coming back and forth across the Canadian border. If
Yeah.
they're coming from Mexico, that wouldn't have been a problem. But
Yeah, right.
No. Yeah, my sister-in-law just got back from Canada, and she played hell getting into it. Getting back wasn't a problem.
Yeah,
It just but yeah, it was good. I'm ready to see it again. I like
Cool.
going through the book and see a lot of stuff I missed and catch up on it that way. So, yeah,
okay.
That's kind of
Well,
that's yeah.
appreciate the update.
Sure.
On it. And anybody that hasn't been, I would highly recommend it. It's a great symposium.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
I mean,
Good venue, good place, and everything else on it. They hold it at the Coliseum. You don't even have to stay. it's not crowded like AAW. Try to go to some of these places like Atlanta, and it's downtown Atlanta, and you're stuck, and you can't really do much or anything else. This one you can get around Waco. Waco, you can actually drive around the town and
Yes,
stuff, and
you can.
pull
We
up to a
stayed,
parking lot at the symposium and stuff.
Yeah.
So
we stayed at the Hilton right there at the convention center. Didn't move our car in 5 days.
yeah,
Nice.
And it's right on the Brazos River too.
Yes, ma'am.
yes, it is.
Yeah, if you
That's
get up
easy to
high
get
enough
to.
in the hotel, you can oversee the stadium and the I-35 bridge that lights up at night. So, but
Well, thanks for your update. I appreciate that. We missed it this year.
it was good. It was. I liked it without the crowds. You could actually get around, and spend some money.
Yeah. Yeah, and get more personal time with the vendors and suppliers there.
Oh yeah, and the demonstrators. They
Right.
don't care. You sit down and talk with them. Hey, they're happy
Yep.
to talk about their stuff.
Right. Some of them you can't shut up sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's
for the
good, and
peop-
I've actually sat down and eaten with a bunch of the demonstrators there too. So it's really a great thing that you can sit there and socialize with them versus
Yes.
some of the other stuff. So it's great.
Oh yeah. And for those people that come with their spouses, the family activities are real good this year. They had a bunch of different stuff. Some of the demonstrators backed out at the last minute, but they filled in and didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good. And what he said about wives, there's a wives program that's a very aggressive, extensive wives program that they have a bunch of classes for them.
Yes.
My wife's actually taught about several of them. And not this time, but the years that they actually had it before that, she taught for a couple of years. But it's a really good program for the wives to keep them busy the whole time. In fact, last time I was there, my wife actually got in there and started turning a bowl downstairs.
Yes. One of the guys from our club, his wife got in there, and she's a petite little woman. She turned like a 20-inch bowl. This thing is huge.
Mm.
But the kids over there at the pin group, at the pin demonstration, man, they were cranking out pins. Don Ward always had his lathes going a lot.
Mentioning pins, we haven't had a pin demonstration recently or in a long time, have we?
No, I don't, matter of fact, we haven't done a pin demonstration.
We've got a bunch of people out there that really, really know how to turn pins because they turn a bunch of them. Anybody interested in demonstrating pins?
If you are, just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim Hines did one on a, what was it, fountain pen. And he took up an hour and a half. And it was very interesting how he did it all. Trying to think what Don Ward did. There was one lady there, her last name was Fritas, I think it was. She did pins with spiral cuts on them.
Karen Fritas, yeah.
Yeah, and she was very interesting.
She's got a lot of off the wall ideas. Karen does, very creative.
Yes. And it wasn't that hard. She had a little grinder with her power grinder, and the hardest part was laying it out and get the geometry correct on it. But then she just started grinding away, and boom, she had a nice little pen, about an hour and a half. That was sort of the size of the demo time.
If you've got one of those Sorby spiraling tools, you can lay spirals into. I do it in goblet stems, but you can lay that into a pen really quickly with the spiraling tool, with the platform on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but laying it out, I mean, that, to do the barley twists and stuff, that's very useful. Knowing how to do that, you can use it in a lot of different places.
Yeah. There was a booth there, Mutt's Blanks. He makes all the blanks. in his garage. I tell you, it was tempting not to buy him out. Beautiful blanks like that.
Like a kid in a candy store, right, James?
Oh God, yes. I spent a lot of time with Don Thompson because I want to upgrade my tools. And after listening to Trey talk about the steel that he uses, it's worth it.
Yeah, good metal is there. Yeah.
Oh yes. And, well, what I like, they were heavy,
Yeah,
heavy metal.
makes a difference.
Yeah,
it really
I've
cuts down on vibration when you got a heavy tool.
Yes, I worked with some of the lighter stuff I've got today, and it vibrated a lot.
Right.
But his heavy stuff, it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to last for a while unless you really put it to the grinder. If you just hone it up, sharpening it between, if you get your jigs right and set up and follow and sharpening and just take a little bit off each time, it'll last for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially if you got CBN.
Yeah. He was grinding right there. You buy a tool, if you didn't like the way it was ground, they'd grind it however you wanted it right there. No charge. He had his engraver, and they were engraving names on all the handles for free. So that's the kind of tool you pass on to your grandkids.
Yep.
I talk
Great
like
guy.
this, I don't even get paid for it.
He's a great guy. He'll talk to you forever about his tools and stuff. And I don't know.
Yeah, we had one of our club members take some handles back 2 years ago. His engraving machine broke down, so the guy just took the tools back this time, and Don just engraved them right there for him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have anybody else on show and tell? I'm not trying to stop
No.
anything because we got plenty of time. Nobody else in show and tell?
No, we've got nobody on show and tell,
Okay.
unless a few people want to pop in. Otherwise,
And don't forget the wig stand challenge was that's still ongoing. Ronnie's not out there to promote it. Anybody have any just conversations or anything else? We can go back to that conversation. Anybody else have any conversations or anything?
well, let's go to North Carolina. Bob just chimed in, and he's probably got a birdhouse for us.
Well, I have a birdhouse, but I have something else. This is a
Something
beef
else,
storage
uh-oh.
box I did out of maple and walnut and cherry.
Hey, look at that.
That's pretty.
Thank you. And I put a little cherry ring in the top to hold it together. But I do
nice,
have to
Bob.
have a couple birdhouses. I've got this one that I did out of maple and zebra wood. Did that one.
Now I recognize him.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And this one I did, my neighbor called this a witch's birdhouse. I used the Josiah paint on the
Back it up.
roof and the finial.
Back
towards
I
you,
can't
Bob.
see the bottom of the finial.
Hey, Bob, pull it back up and pull it back towards you. Pull it back towards you. There you go. Right there.
That's gorgeous.
Sweet.
Hold it in front of my nose.
Yeah.
A little higher, the hat's not fitting right.
What happens is a lot of these cameras focus on faces.
And I had this one that I did. This is out of
Nice.
maple and red heart, I think it is.
Gorgeous.
That's pretty.
Very nice.
Looks like it might be tulip
What's the
wood.
finish that you put on them again, Bob?
It's such spray can lacquer.
Rattle can lacquer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just put them together and I take a paper clip and bend it open. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
Bend it open, just hang it like that and just spray them.
they're quite the multi-tool.
Yeah.
That's right. You can also use them as drill bits.
Yep, many purposes. Yeah. Yeah,
They
you
get-
showed us that.
They get used for more things they get used for more things like that than they do paper clips.
Yeah, they're more,
That's
yeah,
right.
they do better tasking holding paper together.
That's right. Holding paper together is a minor thing.
Bob, at SWAT, there was a display in the instant gallery of birdhouses, and the guy made them out of deer antler.
Yeah, I've made some out of deer antler before.
Yeah.
And,
I thought very interesting.
deer antler's not much fun to work with. It stinks when you drill it out.
That stink stays with you for a while.
Yeah. And your
When you
wife
do the
knows about
deer,
it too.
when you do the deer antler, do you hollow it out or you just drill the hole for the bird?
I hollow it out. Well, I drill a hole down into it, and then drill a hole for the perch and the opening.
So you drill you don't turn the hole, but you drill the hole
No, I drill it
on the lathe or on the drill press.
on drill press.
Okay.
Now I usually
that's
hold it in a clamp.
Okay. Because it's not always round or anything else that,
No, and they curve and
yeah, the deer aren't very nice about that. I don't know why they don't keep the antlers nice and straight.
I think
so
they
we
have
can run
deers
them.
with straight antlers.
I know it.
It's good. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bob. Very nice.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
let's go across the border and see
Mexico?
Dane and see how. Oh no, the other border.
North.
Hey, look who's here.
Oh, hi everyone. Hope all is well.
Yes.
I have a couple things to show. I did a couple bottle stoppers today. I did a small little quick pop-up on the fly demo for Martin's meeting this afternoon. So I turned this bottle stopper here. This is made out of Sillay.
Very nice.
It was all turned with my favorite tool.
Awesome. The skew, half inch.
No
rough and gouge.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw Steve do
Yes.
that. And I saw the disclaimer, don't try this at home, but
yes,
I might have to. Just as long as you know how to ride the bevel and where to cut and how to maneuver and manipulate the tool, it's totally safe. But if you're iffy and not quite sure, I would recommend not doing it. Pick the right tool for the job, for sure.
I won't try it then. Not gonna happen.
Here's another bottle stopper I did. This one is made out of acacia. The camera doesn't really.
That.
Did see a little of the grain. Very nice.
Yeah, a little bit of the grain. And then I have a couple bowls I finished. You probably saw these maybe a month or so ago and they were unfinished. Now they're finished, buffed, shiny, waxed, and I'm going to deliver them on Friday. So I'll show you the finished product. Here is a tulip poplar salad bowl.
Nice.
A tulip poplar salad bowl. It has a knot coming out one side. The finish is tung oil, many coats, buffed, sanded in between. Final coat, buffed and sanded. You can shave in this bad boy.
Very nice.
Oh
Kate.
my goodness.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So that's the salad bowl.
Wow.
So this was
Proper finish. It takes time.
Yeah, very.
Thin coats, and you got to build it.
Yep. It's a labor of love. It's almost therapeutic if you like the finishing process. Unlike the sanding process can be painful at times. But yeah, so that's the salad bowl. This was a tree that came down in her backyard. This is her neighbor's birthday gift, which is her birthday is next week. And for herself, she had to buy something for herself. So she gave me a log and she got 2 live edge bowls out of it. So here's one of them out of tulip poplar.
Wow.
A little bit of spalting in there. This was cut down in the summer. So the first thing that flew off was the bark, but it didn't fly off because I saw it separating before I turned it. So I I pried it off so I didn't have anything flying through the air. And I used a torch just to torch that rim to give it a little bit of a color contrast and to accent where the live edge once was. So that's
Did you torch it after you turned it or before you turned it?
after I turned it. Yeah,
It's beautiful, Cade. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That is beautiful work.
That's
I do
really
have,
nice.
I do have one question for you. Did you hollow the bottle stoppers out to a 1/16 of an inch?
No, I didn't hollow those ones out. No.
They were hollowed to 1/8 of an inch.
No, I didn't hollow those out, but I did think about, I showed my Banksia pod one last week, and I did actually think about hollowing that out, and the finial would be like a lid, like a box, and if it would have been turned to about an eighth of an inch or less. So that's been in the back of my mind for a bit. So I'll probably get to something like that this week, so I can show you that next week.
Okay, I think if you're going to do that, I think you ought to thread the lid out.
Yeah, it might be a little tricky in Banksia pod, but I mean Banksia pod threaded like gold because it's as hard as concrete. It took the threads perfectly. For a practice run, I did a bottle stopper in Sillay, and this one's Sillay, but if you thread it too much or go past and keep threading, it ruins the thread because it's such a soft wood. So it can be a bit of a pain in the butt if you try threading soft woods, but for the most part, it's not too tricky. Next week, I'll demo a bottle stopper. And last but not least, today I had to practice for my upcoming demo in a couple weeks. That's all I'll say. And this is a birdmouth hollow form made out of honey locust. I oriented the grain so I would get that sapwood, heartwood contrast between the two, and that it would be on that 1/3 where the curve is, 1/3, 2/3. So that really framed the piece. And then this is turned to an 1/8 of an inch wall thickness. Yeah.
Right on.
And that's it for me. It's been a busy week. It's nice to get a little bit of a break, get down to the shop. Even though it's noisy, it's still a break from a crying baby.
That's good stuff, Cade. Thanks.
No,
Thanks,
Cade,
everyone.
when you do when you hollow Banksia pod, do you use super glue with it or anything?
No, I didn't. No, but light cuts. Because sorry.
What I found is if you use the thin super glue, after you've got the outside roughly where it is, it doesn't have to be all the way there. If you use the thin super glue around the eyelets only, because there's nothing holding those eyelets in. If you hit super glue at the eyelets, it makes that eyelet a whole lot more solid. And when you turn it, it disappears. You don't see any reference lines or anything else because it soaks in just at that point. And if you keep on turning it down, it disappears in there. And I've stopped throwing as many eyelets out when I hollow them.
Okay, that's a great tip. I've heard that before, that sometimes if you remove the core, because the very center of the core is actually what holds the piece together.
Yeah.
That's all the structure in there that holds it together. I have heard of people doing that, but in the ones I've just done slow and steady light cuts. And once I have it done and hollowed, when I start applying the finish, thin, 50-50, and then once I have a top coat built up, that finish that penetrated and impregnated the wood also acts as a stabilizer. But that's a great point to rough turn it and hit it with super glue, because you do turn all the staining away anyway once you go over it.
Yeah, I've turned a bunch of Christmas ornaments, globes out of it, and I was starting to throw a lot of the eyelets out. once you throw an eyelet out, you might as well trash it.
Yeah, it
And it's-
stands out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, and when I hit it with the super glue, that stopped a lot of it. And I just put it on the around the eyelet openings, and it firmed it up because there's nothing holding those things in. You can just push them right out. So
Yeah, it's
it helps a
also
lot.
good. It's also good to do that on your live edge bowls. Rough turn them and do a little pass along that cambium layer. It's like an insurance premium to keep it there, especially if you take a heavy cut or if it's starting to separate. And then that final finishing pass actually takes away all that staining as well.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Cade.
Thanks, everyone.
Great job,
All right.
Cade.
So let's go to Michigan and check out Charlie. Hey, Charlie. You're muted, buddy. There you go.
It's Minnesota.
Oh, sorry.
Well, this is my second
Wig stand.
wig stand. Now, 2 weeks ago, I showed some vases made out of diamond willow. These tops and bottoms are Douglas fir 2x8s. Now, this is why they call them diamond willows.
Oh yeah, beautiful wood. They make beautiful
This
canes.
this one doesn't have. It only's got 2 diamonds, but there are some of this diamond willow that's just covered with these diamonds.
That is neat.
Yeah, that is.
And the best part of diamond willow is, even if it doesn't have the diamonds, once you get the outer layer off, if you go a little deeper, the whole thing is this red.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, send me and Brenda some.
It's hard to find. And I made a whole bunch of little wooden boxes to use for funeral urns, for sentimental funeral urns. They're almost all identical. And the insides are even sanded and done.
Very nice.
That's
what was
it.
your finish? What was your finish?
Captain Eddie's formula, the
Obi Shine Juice?
Obi Shine Juice.
Very nice.
Nice job.
Good job. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, Trey. Anything you want to
Okay.
touch on there?
Well, I've gone all the way through my list. I don't have anything else on my list on there.
You want to briefly touch on your demo from last week on sharpening and about it being up on the website along with your template on the
Well,
berry
I haven't
grind
checked. I haven't checked on the website, but I did an extensive demo last week, talking about sharpening, using the jig or not using the jig with the 40/40 grind. So went into a lot of detail on what happens when you move the jig different ways and everything else. Reinforced that one of the most important things on sharpening is consistency. When you go back, you don't really grind, you're almost honing it and resharpening stuff. So all you're trying to do is just rub across that bevel lightly to redo that edge on your tool. So you don't remove too much material. So consistency is the most important thing. Height of the grinder is important so that you can actually see it and you're not bent all the way down, stoop down over it like most grinders are set up. Most grinders are set up for just heavy grinding that you don't have to look at what you're doing. So that's different from what we do. You need to get it up lathe height where you can comfortably see what's going on, good light. I didn't talk about wheels much last week, but you can't, the stone wheel's good, still is good. I recommend the slower speed grinder versus the high speed grinder because it doesn't take off as much material and it's easier to handle. The high speed grinder will work too, but the slower speed is easier for you to manage. You can also use sandpaper. Belt sanders are great for for sharpening stuff too. I've got a 1-inch and a 2-inch that I used on some stuff. So those are great. They're harder to get jigs for and stuff. And Sorry makes a little 2-inch belt sander that they have a sharpening system built with the jigs. So jigs are good for consistency, or you can use the platform set to a proper angle to maintain consistency in there. But anybody have any questions on grinding, I'll be more than happy to entertain them, or we'll bring them up and talk about them anytime, or just give me a call.
Yeah, it was an excellent demo. I wasn't able to see it last week, but I watched the YouTube version that Dave's got loaded on the YouTube channel, and it's a very good video on sharpening, folks. Very informative, especially about the angles and the positioning of the very grind and the very grind arm.
Thank you.
Very intuitive, Trey. You made it really well.
Well, great. I'm glad I made it so you could understand it. That's the important thing. And
Yeah, it came across really well. It was
the instructions they give you with it are pretty lousy. If you go to anybody else, you get 4 or 5 different instructions from everybody. So
I know the instructions I got with mine, I didn't. Yeah, it was worthless.
Hey, I got a question for you. On the CBN wheels, if you're going to buy one, what grit would you buy? And if you're buying 2, what grits would you buy?
I would recommend a 220 as your primary grinding wheel, between 180 and 220. The second one, what you're going to do with the second one is probably, I'm not sure about what to say on the second one. I have a different thing on mine, but I'd almost like to have the same size on both of them. And I'll tell you why. One side I'm using to sharpen my gouges on. The other side I'm using with the platform already preset to sharpen the negative rake scrapers.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm basically using both sides set at different angles.
Okay.
So I'd almost entertain having the same grind on both of them. The only time you need the coarse grind is when you're reshaping the tool. And we don't do that very often. It's not something you do very often. I think Thompson, last time when I saw him doing something, he had a regular heavy duty stone when he was reshaping those gouges and stuff for people. It's at Waco. So I'd almost entertain maybe a 180 and a 220 or something like that with the 2 finer wheels, because basically one set for one thing and one set for the other. If you don't pull your jigs out or your platforms and move them around, you repeat consistency. So if you use the Wolverine jig, you already have the distance set on and you just leave it set. So when you go back to it, it'll be the same if you don't have to reset it every time. So I'd almost recommend two close to 180 to 220.
Yeah, that's what I use. 180 for my heavy grinding and 220 sort of for my finesse grinding. That's a good combo.
Thanks, Trey. All right,
You're welcome.
Let's go to Kentucky. Doug Miller.
I'm here.
There you are.
There you are. This is one of those strange weeks. I needed to have a project completed. Intended to have it done today so I could show it to you. But what I'll show you is just 2 of the pieces. It's going to have several. These are not going to get a handle. Well, let me just show you one. It's easier that way. I've got 4 or 5 of these done. I'm going to make 2, maybe 3 more, and then they're going to be assembled for a project. There, if I hold it there, that's even better, isn't it? This particular one, I've got 2 of these. This is Osage orange that I've had for a number of years, and I thought I'd never get that stuff turned. It is so stinking hard. I've never had trouble turning Osage orange before, but this was tough. Got a couple in walnut. They were simple. I've got another one, another chunk of wood on the lathe now with one on it. I hadn't parted it off yet. But it's this Osage orange just blew my mind how hard it really was. I think it's easier to turn an old pecan bowl than it was to turn this little bell. And you know, that little thing's not but what, 1.5 inches tall. So it was hard.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love the grain and the coloring in Osage orange. One of my favorites.
Once you
It
get
can
it
be hard
done,
as a
it
rock, though.
polishes
You're
up
right.
really nice.
Beautiful.
That's got just a little stem on the top. That little nub gets sanded off eventually so that it'll work with my project. But hopefully I'll have it ready to show you next week.
What you do underneath the bottom? Is it, you got a little bell in there or anything, or just it's hollowed out?
It's only hollowed up about 1/2 inch or so.
Okay.
All of them are going to be that way. Yeah, if I was going to make bells with them, I would, put a handle on it. I would hollow that out all the way up, but there's no handle going to be put on these. Like I said, I'll show you the finished product next week.
Okay, cool.
Doug
All right,
had
good.
Doug
Thanks,
had a
Doug.
good video posted on YouTube today on doing a platter.
That was my first video, and
Well, it was a good one.
Actually, that was a live on Facebook before I even had a YouTube channel. And thank you. That like I said, I got a lot of good reaction from it. A lot of people really appreciated it. Showed some people that didn't have a clue what wood turning was all about. Gave them some understanding to what all goes into it.
That's good. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, you guys.
Man, look at the head on that guy. Back to Trey.
Anybody have anything else for us today?
No, not at the moment. We got time. I can do a quick demo on making a Christmas light if anybody is interested.
Well, go for it.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's give me a couple minutes to swing my phone around and get things set up, and
Okay.
then I'll spotlight myself, right?
Yep.
Sweet.
Beat you to it.
Take me out spotlight while I'm setting up. You guys
No,
will
we
get
want to see the setup.
you'll
No,
get
leave him on it. That's good.
Hey, while he's setting up, there was one of the guys when we were doing gallery, he was saying that he was interested in purchasing a hollowing system, that it was on his short list. So I can tell you, if you're still on, I have the Carter hollowing system that I've really liked, but I know quite a few guys in the club have other ones. So if you want to contact me, you can, and we can FaceTime or do whatever, and I'll show you what my hollowing system looks like. It's been 100 years since I've used it, so I can't promise you I even remember how to use it, but I can set it up for you.
Is it
and
set
at
up?
least show it to you.
Is it set up, Doug?
No, not right now. I'm just
Okay.
saying, I can't, and I can do that on a Wednesday when we have time. But I can't remember who it was, but somebody, when we first started doing our gallery, he had said that he was interested in purchasing a hollowing system.
Well, and I would say one thing for him, maybe the first thing he needs to do is just get some hollowing tools and run them in a handle.
Yeah.
For the small stuff. It looked like he was turning smaller stuff on a small lathe, and you can just use a couple hollowing tools on a handle and get by with a whole lot of hollowing.
Yeah,
And
on that note, I would also recommend start small, do some small stuff with hand tools, get a feel for it before you go bigger and bigger. Smaller, less risk. Bigger you go, more risk.
Yeah, like for even hollow globes and little small boxes and all that kind of stuff. And all of that is just done with it's done with hollowing tools, but it's just using a straight handle on a hollowing tool. You don't have to use any jigs or anything else. So
I like the one that guy had that had an articulating arm on it.
well,
Yeah, I forget who that was. Who
Yeah,
was
he had
it?
that
they're
one
good.
that comes in and you could change the angle of it. It would curve.
Oh, Dane has one. Dane has a captured system he made.
if you want a captured system, I like the Trent Bosch system. And let me tell you why. Once you set it up, it drops into your tool post holder, and you can take it off from where it's sitting on the shelf, drop it in place, and you're ready to go. The setup on it is real quick and easy. It'll take any size hollowing thing on it, and different from a lot of them, you can mount your handle to it, so you still have your handle attached to it to be able to help control what you're doing. So I think I've gone through 3 or 4 different ones, and that's the one I have preferred if you want to get to a full hollowing system, but recommends just start out with a few small tools and do some smaller things.
And then I also, so before I bought the whole full-blown hollowing system, I started off with making my own steady rest, and then I broke it, and it was total user error. It wasn't the fault of the product I built. I just got a little too crazy with it. Story of my life. And then I actually bought a steady rest. And I think just having the steady rest allows you to hollow quite a bit deeper with just your regular hand tools, and makes it quite a bit safer. But then, yeah, once I did get that Carter hollowing system, I'm not gonna lie, I love that thing.
Doug, what is that air filter that you use, that you're wearing?
Oh, I don't remember if this one's a Harbor Freight or one I got off Amazon, but it's just one of a little bit better than a dust mask, I guess. And it does have some replaceable filters in it.
All right,
I'm ready. I'm currently just messing around with some green eucalyptus right now from a tree that fell down in the last storm down in Phoenix. So that's all I'm doing, goofing around while you guys are talking.
Oh, nice. Good score.
Sounds good. Uke's fun. That's what I've been making those vases and urns out of here lately. Good stuff. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
smells good too.
Matt, can you spotlight me?
You're spotlighted.
Sweet. All right. So I've been making Christmas lights that'll be painted and for decoration for clients to hang up on their Christmas trees. So it's just a basic light. Let me take off my example. Ooh. Yeah, right. And so I've just got this wired up on my duplicator post, piece of a 12 gauge wire, so I can constantly see the form. You don't have to
Does
get
it light
perfect.
up too?
Well, if you put it in a light bulb, light socket, it will.
Well, you said you were
won't.
wiring it up.
Well, these will look like it, and then it'll have a plug on the end, and you'll see people take that string and try and plug it in, and then wonder why they're not lighting up. But you paint these with, you paint them or dye them real good, and it's a real simple, easy project. They're handmade, don't have to be perfect, but get them to look like a light. So let me put these up. So I'm making them out of apple. So I went and grabbed a apple limb that I have out back of my wood pile. I'm copying from Steve Jones, the Skew Master. So I took a piece of wood, drove some nails through it, drilled a hole, put the nails through it for the specific dimensions of the light bulb for the various characteristics. And so I'll use that to mark my blank here. And so roughly I've already got it turned to about 25 millimeters in diameter. I want to be around 21 to 23 diameters at the widest point on my bulb. And so all I'm going to do is take this piece of wood with the nails in it, spin it up, mark where I need to be at. Unfortunately, on this piece here, I've got several cracks running through. So I'm going to start and make the light bulb come from this section here. So let me put my face shield on and we'll get to going at it. Any questions? Y'all hearing me okay?
Yeah,
Yep,
we can
sounds
hear you
good.
fine.
Yep, sounds good.
Man, that little story stick's pretty cool. I never thought about that.
I need to mark where I need to start and avoid.
And I will make a note that what you did in the story sticks, you were not cutting into it, but you were scraping away from it. So you never put the nails pointing in, you let the nails scrape it.
Oh, thank you for covering that, Trey.
We don't want people to join Brenda's brigade.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that really could make a bad day for someone. So yeah, you definitely want to do it to where it's going away. So
Oh, that's a lot quicker than trying to hold a ruler up there.
and so the first thing I'm going to do, well, see, doing it with a ruler, you can get off on marking your dimensions. So
yep,
this is just quick and easy, and it's one less step. I don't have to turn around and grab the ruler and pay attention to it. Just grab that, stick it on there, and then I can put it up, and I can come back to that marking jig and know the exact location and dimensions to make on the lights from next time I turn them. So the first,
Dane,
yeah,
just one quick question or pointer. The spindle you're turning is quite low on her screen, so sometimes if you have a lengthy talk, the subtitles cover what you're doing. So I'm wondering if you could just move it center. Perfect right there. Yep, thanks.
Okay, great, you're welcome, thank you.
Hey, that fixed it on my phone too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would have been questioning that myself if I was looking at it. Okay, so it's a spindle, and so I don't have a steady rest on it. And so what I've got is I've got my tailstock up to hold it, to prevent it from having the shakes. And so the first thing when you're doing it like this is you gotta cut your lower end stuff first, your smaller diameter stuff first, before you carve and cut the front end of a lighter, or even a finial if you're doing a finial in this manner. And so we'll be cutting where both pieces are getting at a small diameter and being held at the same time with the live center, and then we'll cut it off one piece at a time, and you'll see that here shortly.
Hey, Dane, can you hold up one of your samples?
Any questions?
Dane,
yeah.
Can you hold up one of your samples to those lines? Good, thank you.
And so the important part is this middle line here for trying to get your whitest crest. And so this line doesn't count. This line is just marking where the cracks are that's coming through the checks. So lower my tool rest. And so I'm gonna take down this side first. And so I want to be at about 13 millimeter on this. We're close. And so what I did on that last cut was set this little demarcation line between the glass and the brass. And that's what you're going to, when you're doing this profile here, which is right here, you want to have that curve, so hopefully meet that line there, which is that little shoulder that I created there. So, using everybody's favorite tool, set the tool rest up a little bit. So we're going to use a 1/2 inch skew. Now we'll get at it. So I'm remarking my lines because I know that this diameter is larger than what I need to be at.
So everybody understands the noise that he's getting off the lathe. Zoom filters out a lot of background noise, and when it does that auto filter, it'll pick the background noise up and then kill it. So that's the reason why you're hearing it, and then it cuts off.
And so when you're cutting with the skew and you're picking up your cut from the larger diameter and you're going to your center point, so the whole time this cut is coming down and you're riding your bevel on your skew, at the same time as you're going, you're raising your tool handle up. And all the pressure for the cut is coming from the back hand. This hand is doing nothing but anchoring it to the tool rest. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep, that's exactly how I do it too.
That only happens because we're watching.
Ouchie.
We did see it.
The spiral feature.
He just did that to make the rest of us feel better.
I thought I was the only one that did that.
I read
It's
about
part
it.
of the design.
Are you getting a fair amount of vibration in that? Are you getting a fair amount of vibration? Because it's hard to hear, but it sounded like it was vibrating.
Do what?
Were you getting a fair amount of vibration? It sounded like it was vibrating on you.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of flex up here on the end here, and the reason why is because you know, I've got that small diameter down there, and so here we are. And so the body is pretty much done. You would hit that with a little bit of sandpaper. And so next what I'm going to do is cut where the threads would be at. And then we'll start parting it off. A little bit of 340. I'm going to use a 3-point tool. Sending back a little bit of vibration. So the thread base is made. And so now we'll part this off here and here. But we'll part this off first.
Love it.
There we go. We got a little light bulb that can be painted.
Very nice.
So you paint the outside, you know, whatever, red, blue, green, yellow, whatever color you want. For the threads, you can do gold, you can do silver. And then for the backside here, paint that black. You'll drill a little hole. So in parting it off, I leave the centerpiece here. So I've got my marking for when I go to drill my hole to put my wire clip in, wire clip hanger. And yeah, other than that, you know, that's it to making a little light that can be painted.
Make it look so
Very
easy.
good. Make it look easy.
Well,
Yeah, I was
thank
gonna
you.
say, you make it look easy peasy.
It's good skew practice.
Now,
So, Dane, since you and I talked a couple hours ago on the phone and you told me you might have time to do this tonight, the song
Yeah.
that's been in my head now since we talked was Christmas Time's Coming,
Yep.
Christmas. And now it's in all the rest of your heads. You're welcome.
Yes, indeed.
I've never heard
time,
that song before, so I don't need to worry about that.
Now, there's one thing I do a little bit different. I use a short, I don't put it sticking out that far. I keep it shorter, no more than 2 bulbs per thing when I chuck it in. But the other thing I do is instead of turning the thread part down all the way down, I leave it about a 1/16 of an inch proud. And then because what I found out when I stain it, the stain was bleeding over to the other part of it. So
Oh,
when
okay.
I stain them instead of paint them. So I
Right.
stain them on the lathe, sanded the top off, stained them on the lathe, and then I finished turning the threads and turn it on down that last 1/16 of an inch. And that gives me the fine line between the stain and the bulb without me trying to play around with a brush or whatever. And when I try
Right.
to brush it on afterwards, the stain bled too badly into the other part.
Okay, yeah. So like what I'm doing with them. So the thread base is long enough to where I can mount it in my collet chuck, and so that's what I plan on doing is the same thing. And then if I, you know, which is a good tip for me doing it, you know, that's what I'll do is I'll take my parting tool and then trim the threads down a little bit if I have any spillage of paint or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I leave it a little
tip.
proud and then actually do it on the lathe when I'm doing it. And I don't turn the threaded part down until after I've finished the top bulb and stained it totally and ready to go with it.
Right. Okay.
The other ones I did the other one. I was using regular pine to do it with because pine actually stains and looks good with those.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the hardwood, just pine looks great with them and it's light, just the,
Yeah.
you know, the construction materials.
All you need is, you know, 7/8, 13/16 inch blank, you know, to do these.
I start with a 2x4 and splice it in half and work and do it from that. And they stain out real nice and look really good with that.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm always picking up free wood. So I've got a huge pile and I just grab whatever. But yeah,
Well,
definitely.
that
I
little
don't buy
thing
many
from-
2x4s.
Yeah, but you can find, you know,
Yeah.
one 2x4. How many light bulbs does a 2x4 make?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know.
So cool. I
That
love
sounds
the
like the
demo.
beginning
I
to a
appreciate
good
it.
joke.
Thanks, Dane.
Yeah, something simple, you know, it's, you know, like I said, you know, it's great skew practice. As you can see, you know, I wasn't paying attention and got the tip into it. But it's easily recoverable. A catch with a skew is probably the least dangerous of all of our turning tools because all it's going to do is spin backwards and spin off. It's not going to grab a hold and dig into the wood and cause a major failure on your wood piece or on your chuck. So
I've done some pretty serious damage with the skew. I don't know.
I have too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're really pogging it with, you know, with the skew and you get a catch and it just, I've torn the heck out of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I've cut a quarter inch deep in things.
For me, it's the most aggravating tool.
Oh,
I think as far as As far as catches though, I definitely have gotten way worse ones with a gouge than I ever did a skew. Cause like you're saying, Dane, I might take a little shot to the gut as it comes back to me, and it makes a little spiral mark in there. But with the
Right.
gouge, and those things have really just grabbed it. Next thing I know, I might be giving myself an uppercut. So,
Well,
Oh yeah,
I've
you know,
actually,
then knocking your work piece off, you know, making it fly or break or shatter.
I
But-
did bend the spindle gouge early on. I do remember that. So there's some truth to that, that's for sure.
and I've
you
actually
know,
had
this-
one of my worst blowouts with a scraper. Scraping a bowl and it started flexing on me, and it
Yeah,
and
okay.
and the scraper grabbed and the bowl flew apart in 3 pieces.
Yeah, that can happen. Scrapers can be catchy.
Say, Dane, do you have a LED light over your lathe?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because the wood grain didn't show when you showed it over the lathe, but it did show when you brought it away from the lathe towards you. Those lights are just so bright.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
You didn't notice there's a Harbor Freight number?
No, it's an Ace Hardware special.
Oh, cool. All right, thanks.
Yeah, I think it was like $30. It's a 4-foot light. Just got it hanging. And then the ones in the background, like the one you see in the background right now, that's just a fluorescent.
Now, I actually changed all my fluorescent lights in my shop out to LED. And it's not hard to do. If you can go buy the bulb. What I did is I bought bulbs, I ordered them online, and went in and I bought the bulbs that do not require ballast for LED things that don't require ballast. Went into my light sockets, removed my ballast, wired it to the one end for the bulb I got, and just put the new LED bulbs into the existing fixtures. About $4 a bulb.
Yeah, that's
So
good to know.
I changed them all out to LED, and it was simple and easy to do. I'll dig up the information. That could be something we can get out there and get out,
Yeah.
because it's an easy change out that you can change pretty much any of your standard 4-foot fixtures out to LED. Sometimes you have to rebuy the little tombstones at the end that support it. Depends on which ones you have. Only because some of them wired through and some of them are double wired on the ends. It all depends on the ones you have on there. But it's fairly cheap to do, about $4 a bulb, and so for $8 you can change the fixture out that's already hanging in your overhead, and they're quick and easy to do.
Right? Yeah, definitely pull out that info. I'd be interested in doing
Okay,
that
well,
for the rest of my
I'll dig
overhead.
it back up because I changed all mine out downstairs in my shop. I still have upstairs to do.
Right.
But
Yeah, I can use it. I can use that information too, because last week I had 4 of them go out.
yeah, and when the ballast and I bought the ones without ballast requirements, so I pulled the ballast out and trashed the ballast and just put the new bulbs in.
Well, I put new bulbs in mine, and 2 of them had broken ends on them. So I had to make a trip back to the store, get 2 new bulbs, bring them home, put them in, and the lights still don't work.
It's probably the ballast,
That's what I assume.
and they want,
Yep.
Depends on
I
which
know
one
I've
you get.
replaced them before on, I don't know if it was that set of lights or not, but one of them I have, so.
Well, the
Well,
only disadvantage of what I've done is that the bulbs, I had to order the bulbs. You can't go to Lowe's and pick the bulbs up and stuff like that, because most of the LED bulbs that they give you, that you get from Lowe's, still require you to use the ballast, and I wanted to get away from the ballast, so.
You might try grow stores. Sometimes the grow
They've gone
stores,
up pretty good though, Trace.
hydroponic stores will have ones that you can just replace, swap right in.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want the one that just swapped back in, because some of my ballasts were going bad, and I didn't want to pay $20, $30 for a ballast.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I
Or
got.
more.
What Matt said, go to your hydroponic store and you can get a 3-foot or a 4-foot LED T5 light for a good price. And I mean, it's daylight. So
Yeah.
you don't get that yellow reflective neon light.
Right.
But they work well and they don't get hot. And I got 2 of them up here. But one thing you can do, you can buy dampeners for your light, but something you probably have in your kitchen is parchment paper. And just put a little shroud of parchment paper about 2 inches away from the light and keep the tube open. And that will significantly dampen the light above your lathe. So it's not whited out and washed out when you're doing videos or demos.
So was everything blocked out because of the light?
No, it's just the grain structure that he's talking about. So it was harder to
Oh,
see the
okay.
grain because it blew the grain out. But
Yeah, the
no,
wood
there's-
was the wood was reflecting a lot of light.
It's
It's
just
just
a
apple.
dampener to dampen the light.
Yeah, it was just apple. There's nothing amazing about the grain. That's why I'm using it.
What
Yeah,
I think
that's-
happened, Dane, is your cut was so smooth it didn't even require sanding or polishing.
Exactly.
That's my story, and I'm sticking
That's
to it.
well, that's the goal you want to get to is, hardly no sanding.
So a much more expensive version of what Trey just said is what I did. So if you're into spending more money, so I didn't know about the way that Trey did his, and now I'm kind of kicking myself. But I bought mine at Costco, and they were about $40 or $50 a light, but it's the full ballast, everything. The downside to them is if I do, have something fly off the lathe and hit one or something, I can't just change the light bulb out. I got to go buy a whole nother kit. And I don't know how long these lights are going to last. I mean, in theory, they're going to last a really long time, but they were super easy to install. So for the convenience factor, it was nice, but I put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this shop, and I think 4 in my garage. So it was a little pricey.
Well, I
Well,
got
have my
lucky
lights
at
are up
Harbor
there high
Freight.
enough, no bulls will hit them.
Yeah, these lights I got were relatively cheap. I think $30 a strip light. And it comes with a connecting cord. So you can plug one into the wall, and then there's a connecting cord that connects every consecutive one after that. And you can have them go right across your shop. Lights it up like an airport.
I had a problem with those. I got mine at Rockler, and the connectors didn't. I mean, they lasted for 2 years, but then they died. So the ones I have now, the LEDs I have now, are 4-foot shop lights at 4,000 lumens, and I got them at Walmart's, and they've survived several winters now without a problem. So.
Oh yeah, they would react differently to the hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold of the seasons if you're in a cool garage.
Well, see, based on what y'all did when you pulled out your old shop lights and stuff, I got a handful of old shop lights from somebody and put it down in my barn and paid $8 a fixture to convert them over.
I may have one or two more if you want them, Trey.
Hey, for $8 is it? And the ones in my shop, I had the regular fluorescents in my shop, and I've just been converting them over, and it's $4 a bulb to do it. And easy to do, $4 a bulb. Just change a little bit of wiring, and 10 minutes per fixture, and that's it.
Or Matt and Cade, do you folks heat your shops, or do you have like I do, where your shop is unheated in the winter and can get down to 20 below? I think that's what burns out my ballast.
Yeah, that could be the reason for sure. Mine is actually heated within my home because my wood turning studio and shop's in my basement. So I don't have the cold of insulating my garage. But all my flat work machinery is in a garage. So if I have to use that, I would have to heat the garage and use that equipment. But my lathe turning room and whatnot is all heated within the house I live in.
Do you have a problem in your garage where you lose ballast or something from the temperature extremes that we get up north?
No, because I don't have ballasts and LEDs in there. I still have the original
incandescents.
Yeah, incandescents like the ones you see in the schools. on the ceiling, so I never really change them. I just deal with it because if I'm using that equipment, I'm just doing flat work.
Okay.
But these work great. I mean, I've had these lights in here and hooked up above my lathe for, wow, these lights individually more than 5 years. And I mean, I turn Monday to Friday 9 to 3 and I haven't had to replace a light yet. And when I do need to replace a light, it's only about $15, $20 for a new light.
How about you, Matt? Are you heated all the time or do you suffer like I do?
No, he's heated.
Okay.
Heated insulated garage, I believe. Is it, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it's not heated all the time. It is insulated, but that doesn't do me any good when it gets down below -20, of course. So I gotta, if I'm gonna turn in the winter, I go turn the heaters on and go back in and eat something.
Right. Oh yeah, we know, we see you. We see you when you're all bundled up.
Yeah.
You're
And I
almost
wear
frozen.
4 or 5 layers. So yeah, that's
and-
right. I've
and-
done some demos with that.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
it's
in
called,
shape.
and that is
Dane,
one
you
of the
have
reasons.
you have big heaters in your shop too, Dane, don't you?
No, that's not, well, actually, I can't lie. So when it gets below 60, I do have a heater that I turn on for myself. That's
Tough life.
fact.
Tough
I
day.
have a green machine that I turn
Yeah.
on.
Well,
Hey, I do the same thing. That's the reason why I was asking the
Yeah,
question. I turned a
yeah.
little bathroom heater on and heat it up. So
Yeah,
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 that is one
I
of-
do
that
the
is
same.
one of the
When I get
reasons
up
why-
in the morning, I turn it on and 3 hours later, that's when I come out and I know everything's nice and toasty.
We folks up north are still sweating at 60 degrees. Dane.
Yeah, I know, right? You guys are still swimming.
In our shorts.
Still swimming.
Yes. In our shorts. Yeah, that is one of the reasons why I switched to all LEDs in the garage, is because the fluorescents were not coping well with the winter, and some of the incandescents weren't coping well with the winter either. So,
And you've had good luck with the LEDs in the cold?
well, the ones I have are working well. Like I said, they're Walmart's. I had some the Rockler ones, the ones that chain together, that did not work out so well. They lasted a year or two and then died. And I don't know if it was the cold, but it seems like it was. But the ones I got on sale. I bought 5 or 6 of them from Walmart years ago, and I got them on sale for like $25 each. And they're 4-foot long shop lights, and it was great. They work great. They're wonderful. So in any place I've had other lights, any incandescents or anything else, I've replaced them all with LED. Even the bulbs, the standard bulbs, I've replaced them with LEDs, and those work great.
I've done about the same thing. But see, I have 16 fixtures downstairs and 12 upstairs. So I couldn't afford to spend $30 a fixture.
Yep.
Are your lights with ballast or not with ballast? I wonder if the cold would
No
affect the ballast.
I have no ballast. You can buy the LED bulbs that work with the ballast or ones that work without the ballast. The ones that work with the ballast are only, you go to Lowe's and that's what you're going to get from Lowe's, is the ones that work with the ballast, because they're just going to do a straight, pull the other bulb out and stick it in. And it's only for transition, to allow it to be able to just remove one bulb and stick the other in. If you go buy the bulbs without the ballast, and you have to order those, you pull the ballast out and trash the ballast, and it's just direct wired to one end of the bulb. It's just providing 120 volts to one end of the bulb only.
Yeah.
And that's all you're doing. That's all. You're just rewiring to provide to one end only.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And that's
shoot.
the
That
only
makes
thing
sense.
that's the only thing required is 120 volts on one end.
Right.
The only thing that makes it complicated on some of them, some of the tombstones that they have, which is the end things, are set up not to provide power to one end, but you have to provide power to both ends.
Right.
And so it's, there's some things in there that you have to actually maybe replace the tombstone so it'll work the other way. But I find most of them are still good the other way. Tombstones have been fine the way. Just pull it out, throw the ballast away and provide 120 volts to the end of it. And that was all you have to do to it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now in my mind, that makes total sense. So, yeah, I can do that.
And that's what you're doing, is providing 120 volts to the end of the bulb. You got two
Right.
bulbs up there, and it's wired between the two of them for providing, and that's all you're doing. No ballast, nothing.
Sweet. That's good to know. 'Cause that's been in the back of my mind for a while.
Well, I'll get the information together.
Okay.
I've actually on my third box of 25, because I haven't done my upstairs yet, but I've been happy with them. I think I've got one bulb I've got a 2-foot strip of a double strip out of one bulb that's giving me it messed up, but that's nothing out of the whole package.
Right.
So.
Okay.
And I like to get them in the box of 25 because they come in the box and they're well protected.
Yeah. So
That's
it's
when
good
I
for
bought
storage.
smaller quantities of them, and they'll send you smaller quantities. When I bought the smaller quantities, I want it with broken bulbs, and then they'll send replacements and that kind of stuff. But the only thing it breaks is the outside. The inside still has the LED in it. It's not like a pressurized bulb. It's just a clear glass tube over the outside of the LED strips. That's all that's in it. So
That's how it works. All right, well, thanks, everyone. We still have a few people who have the gallery items, so it's getting kind of late. So let's see if these guys are still around. Dave Leader.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're still around.
Yep, Dave Leader, you had a gallery item?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. A while back, I was inspired by Dean Grimes making the cross. And I made one then. I showed it here. And I gave it to my friend in Illinois. And his sister liked it so much that I made one for her. So this is simply maple with some pyrography to darken it, a little bit of gold, and a natural base.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice job.
So I'll give this to her and she'll be happy, I hope.
Yeah, a little bit of pyro is great.
Goes a long way.
Yeah.
I love the way you finished that off. That really looks neat.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Really like that.
Yeah, good base.
Yeah, it really pops. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a little off center.
Beautiful.
And this is gunstock stain. Because the maple was pure white.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
You got anything else?
That's it, sir.
All righty. Well, thank you.
We're gonna go from there to Greg Bray. If you're awake there, Greg, you said you had something to show.
I'm still awake. This is this is about the third one I've done like this. This is a piece of holly, and I paint the birds on them.
Wow, very nice.
They're and we was talking about hollowing systems earlier, and this one I use the Trent Bosch system, and I love it. It's very solid, very user friendly, and I've used them all, and I kind of ended up with liking the Trent Bosch over all of them, but they're all good. I've used the Lyle Jameson, it was good, and Tim Yoder's, it was good, but the one I ended up buying was the Trent Bosch. So, but this is made out of holly, and I sprayed it with lacquer.
Well, it's beautiful.
Very nice.
Love those birds. Beautiful.
You got to be careful when you're painting on them. And the painting, I didn't use actual paint. I used ink and pens, but you got to use a micron pen, because if you spray like a Sharpie pen with lacquer, it'll run and bleed. So you got to be careful what pens or inks that you use if you're going to paint with ink.
Yeah, typically
Are they water-based, oil-based, alcohol-based?
They're alcohol-based.
No, micron pen's not alcohol based, I don't think.
I thought some of them I got was alcohol that I used on it, and the brand name was Micron on it, but it was it was like it was ink.
Was it the Prima pens?
I don't. I'm not sure. I got a bunch of them out there, probably about 25 or 30 out there.
Micron also has a water-based pigment,
Yeah,
so it depends on which one you got.
I thought these were the alcohol.
Well, one of the things, I mean, I've had issues with ink pens running also. So usually what I do if I'm painting is I'll give a piece 1 or 2 coats of sanding sealer first and sand it, and then I'll paint on top of that.
And you're exactly right, because I did use sand and sealer down first.
Cool.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
It does help really keep things from running.
Yes.
Yep.
But I found the Sharpies will run with even if what you put down first. If you use a Sharpie, it will run, because I've tried that.
Yeah, they will. Now I use the Micron pen for signing all my work. And I found that's one of the few pens that I can put a finish over and it not run. If I let the pen dry out good, I don't get running when I put the finish over it. And that's the reason why I use that pen. I use the fine Micron pen to sign all my work, because it does not run like the others. That's the reason why I say I don't think it's alcohol based, because if it's alcohol based, it would have run.
Yeah, that's what I use to sign my work with as well, and I never have an issue with the finish making it run.
Yeah, I put shellac over it, which is alcohol, which would run. I put lacquer directly over it, which would cause it to run too, and everything else. So I'm pretty sure it's not an alcohol base. I have a bunch of alcohol based pens, and they actually have blenders in there that go with other stuff on it. So it's some other type of thing.
Yeah, so Micron says its pigment ink is archival quality on paper, waterproof, chemical resistant, fade resistant, bleed free, and quick drying, and pH neutral. But it doesn't say
what base,
what's in it.
Well,
just
when I
pigment ink.
What pigment ink implies almost like acrylic paints or something, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm just reading what Micron says here. So,
well, I know that when I looked it up online just a second ago, that they have both alcohol-based and water-based inks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no idea what you're getting then, but.
Yep.
But that's the one I use because it doesn't run.
Right.
When you sign over it. Everything else runs. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it for gallery, unless somebody else has got something they want to step in and show.
I got a couple pieces of diamond willow if anybody wants to see them, or I can save them for next week. No big deal.
No, let's do it now.
All right.
Eddie's not here to cut you off at 9.
So diamond willow is also one of my favorite woods to work with. It grows wild in the pastures on the big family ranch out west. So as a young child, I used to carve it with my grandfather. And so my grandfather used to make canes, and he got me intrigued into canes. So that's another pastime, hobby, side business I do as well, is custom canes and carvings, or carved canes. So my very first cane I made was out of diamond willow. And I used a piece of padauk for the handle, and I carved the piece of padauk into a toucan bird. I used raven eyeballs for the eyes. This is a ski pole, which was my ferrule. And I have 5/8 rebar that goes into the handle 3 inches and into the shaft 3 inches. But the thing about diamond willow is I love carving it to really accentuate those diamonds. So as you turn the cane around, as you go down the shaft, you can really see all
That's
the
incredible.
diamonds and the carvings. Oh, here, banging into my light. But so
That's-
there's some more diamonds, and then I carved a bit of a vine or a vein at the bottom.
That's beautiful.
And then
Cool.
there's
Very
some more diamonds at the bottom here. Get that
Yeah.
light off of there. So that was my very first cane I carved. And African Paduke is like concrete. I don't recommending it with carving it with hand tools, but power tools it's okay to do. But these were all hand carved. And my grandfather had a cane he used to use all the time. He took it out to the pastures. He would carry it when we were doing the bull runs. And this is one he made. I inherited it when he passed away. He bent this by steam in the barn. He heated it, steamed it, and then he used the hydraulic press to force it into the bend and allowed it to dry. So that was a cane I always remembered him using ever since I was a kid. But he would accentuate the diamonds, and down the shaft here he carved a bit of a vine barley twist. But as he came down the shaft here, he accentuated the diamonds. So here's another diamond into a vein or a vine with some more diamonds. So that was a cane that he made and I inherited. But also as I was a kid, we would do all kinds of carvings and staffs. Oh, I almost dropped that one. I don't want to drop that. But I always remember he had this big staff in the corner of the farmhouse that he would constantly pick up and he would carve.
Wow.
So he carved away. This is quite a big staff, quite an old tree, but he would carve the diamonds to accentuate them with the out white border. Now the white border is the sapwood and the dark reddish brown is the heartwood. So he would carve it so you would have that color contrast to accentuate the diamond, but then he would carve out the diamonds to accentuate them as well. And then you come around this side and we got an old man face in the progress of carving, not quite finished yet. Down here we have some diamonds that were carved out into a bit of a open twist cavern. And then as we go deeper, we have a native or American Indian, Native American. And then more diamonds. We have a, oh, here, there we are. We have a TP in the process here, carving. And then as we go down the shaft, it's not quite mapped out yet, but we have more diamonds down here that will be accentuated within that vine carving. So I inherited this and I plan on finishing it. So I'm slowly in the process of finishing the project that he once started. And
that's something else. That's
It's
really
already
nice.
awesome.
Yes.
That's
Now,
great, Kay. That's great.
Are the diamonds naturally in there if you just remove the bark?
yes,
Okay.
you will have, it's like, I probably have a piece in my wood pile, but it might take me a little while to find it. So I'll show it next week. But the bark is like a dark brown, silvery type bark. It's not very open, it's quite tight, but it will show the diamonds knots underneath. But once you take all that bark off, it's white underneath. But then the knots are accented down in with that heartwood. So you just
Right.
take the bark off. Once you cut the tree while it's still green, peel that bark off, and you're left with a stark white shaft with little knots. Allow it to dry and then carve it and play
then you
around.
carve it.
So is the
You carve
diamond?
the knots and it comes.
So is the diamond willow? Is that the common willow tree that grows back east and up north? Or is
No,
that
your common
separate
willow is
species?
your common willow is like a weeping willow, and it's a
Right,
very
right. That's what I
soft
mean.
wood. It's a very soft wood, fast growing, almost like a weed.
Right.
That wood is caramel colored. I have a piece of willow back here if you want to see it, but it's quite soft. Similar color though. So this, I have a couple pieces of willow. So this is your weeping willow.
Yeah, it has a pretty amber color to it.
It's almost like the heartwood of apple. Not the heartwood, the sapwood of apple.
Oh, okay.
A very light caramelly color. So that is weeping willow. Now this here is pussy willow. Has a little bit more variation, a little more character, white spalting rather than your natural black spalting, but very similar in color. Those are very fast growing trees, very soft wood.
Right.
Where diamond willow is more of like a brush or a bush and a slow growing tree. So this, this branch is a tree. This was probably 40, 50 years old of growth.
Wow, no kidding. Yeah, first time hearing of diamond willow tonight.
Yeah, it's very nice stuff if you can get a hold of it.
So is that a common shrub or?
Depends where you live. In Central North America, it's common, and Western Canada, it's common. I haven't seen this stuff in Ontario or on the West Coast. No, East Coast, but it is on the West Coast and Central Canada. So West Coast and Central USA as well.
Right.
I'm probably sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matt, have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't
Wild?
seen it. I haven't seen it anywhere east out here by us, Cade. So it's I don't even know. Is it in the U.S. in the central U.S.?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
I don't know. I've never heard of it. So
yeah,
There are two kinds of diamond willow. The kind that Badger has, the bark is the knots. Then down here in Minnesota, Wisconsin, parts of Michigan, it's a diamond willow. It's not knots. It's a bug and fungus infection. The stuff I have is a bug and fungus infection. It's usually no bark on it to start with.
Oh.
So that sounds like that's a different tree.
It's,
or a different,
yeah.
There's two different species of diamond willow.
Okay.
Okay.
So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple species. I only know of that one. I have heard of the other one that is caused by infestation and bugs. But yeah, that is sort of characteristic to the knots and the colors of the colors of that wood. But I'll have to pull out a piece and show you what it looks like in bark form. I also have one that's about this long, and it's more of a billy club or a tire pressure checker, because on the end where it's like the mace type piece, it has a whole bunch of series of knots, and it was carved out to accentuate those knots, which would create the mace type morning star top with all those irregular edges. And I have no idea where that is, but it's somewhere in my collection of things. Maybe I can find it for next week.
Okay. Yeah, great. Thanks for the info and showing.
No problem.
Great pieces by your grandfather.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I look forward to
Yeah.
finishing.
Right? Yeah, I bet. It's something else.
Do we have a demo for next week scheduled yet?
Yeah,
what are we
we
doing?
got Cade. He's going to do
Okay.
a bottle stopper.
Okay.
And then after that, it's kind of open.
I will do a natural edge bottle stopper, but I don't want to do it until after Eddie gets back online, because it's too hard to jump back and forth. It's easier for me to do this from in the house instead of being in the shop.
Right. Understand.
We don't have the same kind of tree that they got.
So I'll do a natural edge. I use the red Maui burl, use the Australian burls and turn natural edge bottle stoppers that turn out real well. They're easy to do.
Okay.
Yeah, they look cool. I saw some online. I Googled a couple different types and designs before I sort of did a couple bundles.
Half of it's sanding more than just turning. You turn the bottom part and sand the top. Is all you do with it. But
yeah, that'd be cool.
I'll cover that after Eddie gets back online and can take control of the meeting when I can go outside and turn.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
We'll
so we
do
got
that later.
Cade for next week, and if need be,
Okay.
I can jump in and bookend and do another quick demo as well. So
Okay, that sounds
Well,
great.
figure it out.
and the other gentleman from volunteered too, the guy doing the fish platters, right?
Yeah, Walt
Yes,
Wager.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
Walter, I've got him, but you know, got to get something set up, and I want to give him more than 1 week to be able to do something. So
Yeah, you
so I've
told
got
him next week you'd schedule something for it, give him a scheduled date. So
right.
okay,
He really is he really is an amazing teacher. He will see something and he will go back to his shop and he will try it. And he's demonstrated, he's a president of our club, and he's demonstrated many times on so many subjects.
awesome.
He's amazing.
That's great. I'm glad we're going to be able to have him put forth something for the group here to see.
Yeah,
we're all
he is really
excited
good.
for it.
That'd be
Definitely. But
great.
yeah, I've got Walter down here, and I'm going to be emailing him, setting up a proper date for him. That way he's got time to prepare.
it's amazing the quality of people that we get in this group.
And it's all free.
Yes,
Only
it
on
is.
worldwidewoodturners.org.
Well,
Where
Woodturners
else,
is one of-
where else can you get this type of information and type of demos that we do?
Yeah, and Woodturners are one of the few groups that are totally transparent and share information and everything, share it instead of hiding secrets.
Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
agree. Well, definitely for this group.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
There's good
across the
group
board, I've
people.
seen it in wood turning. I've seen it very open and sharing, a lot of sharing in wood turning and how do you do stuff instead of holding trade secrets back and everything.
Right, right. Yeah, it's one of the good things about our craft.
Yep.
I wish I was
Yeah,
a little
whatever.
better to be able to do demos.
What?
Said I wish I was a little bit better in order to do a demo.
Well, you got a phone and you can shoot video on it. That's all. That's all I've got.
Yeah, that's all you need.
I've got it. I've got it on a tripod, and I just bend it over. That's it.
That's all you
We'll get
need.
you
That's
hooked-
all you
we'll
need.
get you
Video
hooked up,
wise.
Jason.
Yeah, you can get these little flex arm things off Amazon. They work great, and your phone fits right in there. You can manipulate and move it all different types of ways.
Right.
This is when I do like short little snippets for Facebook or YouTube. But this
Hey, can you send me the
articulates
link on
and
that?
moves.
Can you
moves
send
my
me a
phone.
shopping
Yeah.
link for that, Cade?
Sure. And
Yeah,
you can tilt your
absolutely.
phone all kinds of different
Yeah.
directions. Overhead view.
Right. Well, that's what I'm
tailspin
thinking. You know, that
view.
way I can do an overhead. You know, for when I'm doing demos. Then I'll take the tip of the parchment paper, putting it up next time. So.
And get the link and get ready to put it in chat next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send them the link, but put it in chat next week so give it
Right.
to everybody.
Okay, I'll find that chat and I'll have it ready for next week. I think the reason I bought it was my wife would lie in bed with her phone and she'd watch videos, and then I would come to bed. I'd come to bed and she'd be asleep with her arm in the air and like this. And still asleep. And I'm like, honey, you're gonna like drop your phone or... So I bought her one. And since I bought her one, it goes on the clamps to the headboard and then it comes around. You can move it in any different direction. And if you pass out, you don't have to worry about dropping your phone on yourself or
It doesn't
pass
bounce
out.
too much. It doesn't bounce too much for your videos.
No, I mean, if I just move it and then do that, it will bounce. But if I
But
set it,
it stabilizes pretty quick. Okay.
There.
And that's plenty strong enough to hold an end or hold a larger phone then.
There. That one time, remember a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I did that quick little demo on using the bowl gouge on a bowl.
Yeah.
The small bowl. I
Yep.
didn't have my full camera set up because I had just finished a demo and my mic wasn't charged and my laptop was dead. And so I couldn't use that. So this is what I used. I just set this up. Here, pretend this is my phone. It's a pack of gum. And I set this up and I brought it in here, and that's how I did that demo, because right here we had perfect view from the tailstock into the bowl so you could see all the cuts I was making.
Nice.
And it
Yeah.
was just my cell phone.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll talk later on that, but yeah. That'd be handy.
I started making those articulated arms I've got in the shop because I saw a video where a guy made one for his buddy who was going to the hospital and was going to be in the bed, laid up for a couple of weeks. And so he built one for this guy's phone so he could watch videos in his bed. And I thought, I could make those for lighting when I was having trouble getting lighting where I wanted it. And then it turns out they're really great for cameras and stuff too. So I've got 3 or 4 of them in the shop for holding cameras and things.
Right.
Yeah, they work great. I mean, how much that thing cost me? Maybe $15 Canadian. So that'd be 11 US.
Right.
I don't know, nowadays with the inflation of wood due to COVID, it might cost you more than that.
Yeah, good point. I've got a lot of extra wood in the shop, but I mean, you can buy those 22-inch gooseneck. Those are not very expensive. And
yeah,
the
they work
only thing
well
you got to
too.
do is whatever you do is don't connect it to your lathe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the shaking of the lathe. And I think here is here's the arm. Here's the clamp. So I have that
nice
clamp.
and sturdy.
I have that clamped to it. That is clamped to a 2x4 that is screwed to the joists of my ceiling.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely. Yeah, I like that. That's inexpensive too.
Hey, guys, I'm looking at one on Amazon right now. Looks like just what he's got there for $12.64.
Yep,
There you go.
Put the link in, Brenda.
Thanks, Brenda,
Tony.
for finding that.
Come on, girl.
It's
Well, make sure you get the link to go in next week because it's going to be too late for most people for this week.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll save that for next week too.
Yeah, we're down to
Oh
we have
yeah,
Old timers.
24 people, and it's
we're down to the hardcore.
yeah. So save some of that save the link and that stuff for next week so we get it out to everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Here, I'll
Okay.
just copy that. And that will be, it'll be in my clipboard for next week.
Okay.
Brenda,
There you
did you
go.
put that in yet?
I copied one
Yeah,
that
just put it in.
Mike Kebra just put in there.
Oh, is that the one, Mike? Hello, Mike. I know you're out there.
Yeah,
Let's do
that's
that.
the exact
Okay.
same one. That's very similar in black. The one Mike posted is very similar. It's just in black. There's many different variations. The name on this one is UGREEN. And it came in white and it came in black. But all
Say
of
that
the
again. Say that again, Cade.
UGREEN. That's the name that's on the clip that's fixed to my 2x4 on the ceiling.
Some back garage Chinese.
Yeah,
company.
right.
Yeah, probably.
What's spoken up on the Mongolian Chinese border. Nice.
So it does pretty good. Yeah, I
Well,
suppose if you just have cell phones and tablets, even if you had 2 or 3 of those, you could have the same setup without the cost of all the tripods and webcams and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You just need a platform to run the different scenes.
Well, what person who's the host can switch you from scene to scene?
Yes, if you log in with multiple devices, yeah, the
You could be
host
logged
will
on multiple devices, and the host can switch from one device to the other to get the different scenes.
Yep. Or you can plug them all into OBS or StreamYard or OBS or
But-
StreamYard.
But you're adding
VMix.
more complexity to it when you put that in. That you're running a computer and everything else. You can't just have a tablet and a phone and put them both on, log them both in, and just have the host switch you back and forth. And that's the low tech area way of doing it.
Well,
Yep.
if you, and if you've
And
got.
that would work just fine. Sorry,
Yeah.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I used an old laptop. It's barely adequate,